To see right there, you know, Jay gonna do.
Yeah, at the bar radio.
Yeah.
Big Philly band at the bar radio.
Yeah, at the bar radio.
Yeah.
You already know this the king of Philly band at the bar radio, man. You already. Right.
You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that planet, this that get back. It's a different day, no, it's same story, nigga. I've been winning, retire like I'm Robert Horry, nigga. They just thought they knew me, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Like a 40 with me, always know I had that clipper. She ain't getting on my butt, bet I'm gon' skip her. If they start getting out of line, I bet I'm gon' get them. Pack a bag and book a flight, so they know I'm always tripping. I've been Scotty with the right, so they always know I'm pimping. Well, I always say I got haters, cause they just know I'm living. Word to my brody came on, they just know I got a vision. The stove gotta stay on some no product missing. Government want us to stay home, a broken politician. Had to carry that weight, never dealt with the opposition. My homie
Where you
tryna
bitch
pick
at?
case we ain't had no pot to piss. I'm tryna cop a bird, but he caught up with all them pigeons. And I can never chase when ain't no love when you got them riches. I'm on loan, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plane and this that get back. I'm on loan, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plane and this that get back.
Hey, Tona, you made this?
Yeah. Alright.
Hey, Tona, you made this?
I'm on the loan. I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plane and this that get back. I'm on the loan. I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, trying to figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plane and this that get back. It's a different day, no, it's same story, nigga. I've been winning, retire like I'm Robert Horry, nigga. They just thought they knew me, but I'm here to make my story bigger. Keep that like 40 with me, always know I had that clipper. She ain't getting on my butt, bet I'm gon' skip her. If they start getting out of line, I bet I'm gon' get them. Pack a bag and book a flight, so they know I'm always tripping. I've been Scotty with the right, so they always know I'm pimping. Well, I always say I got haters, cause they just know I'm living. Word to my brody came on, they just know I got a vision. The stove gotta stay on some no product missing. Government want us to stay home, a broken politician. Had to carry that weight, never dealt with the opposition. My homie tryna beat the case when he had no pot to piss. I'm tryna cop a bird, but he caught up with all them pigeons. And I can never chase when ain't no love when you got them riches. I'm on the loan, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plane and this that get back. I'm on the loan, I've been asking where your bitch at. She on the phone, tryna figure out where to get lit at. You on your own, just know why with that chit chat. I'm on the road, cause this that plane and this that get back.
It's been a few times lately.
Where your bitch at?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta ask a nigga, where your bitch at?
What if he asked you that?
I ain't got one, so
But I'm saying, if you had one, would you get upset?
nah. Yeah, ask her where she at. She where she supposed to be at.
Well, see, that's not what the song is really talking about.
I know, but that's what I'm gonna say to that nigga that asked what my bitch at.
Okay. What if you meant it like the song?
Oh, then
When he meant it like how you meant it.
Right.
he don't have that skill, dog.
Oh,
Can't take.
how do you know though? Well, this
Because
is a hypothetical.
This has been tested before. I told you I've had folks
When he meant it like
that they swore that they had a female, in a certain situation, and
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you asked. I'm just saying, it's happened before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tried and true, tested. USDA choice. Man.
I already know I'm gonna have to like sage today.
So we got a really short amount of time because we started a little late because
As the weeks go by.
Black people.
yeah, pretty much.
So we don't really short amount of time because we started
These people wanted their money
because
within. I ain't gonna pay
some technical difficulties.
This sounds like somebody came up in here trying to strong arm.
Hey, man, it's hard out here,
You
man.
don't want to be on the internet.
Inflation is a motherfucker, man.
Man, don't get me started.
They like, do you want your show to stream today? Pay us what you owe.
Oh wow.
Hey.
Yeah, we ain't talking about inflation. Let's not talk about that. My truck takes
It's like-
40 a week. Don't talk to me.
like,
So
you
if we
want your
do,
show
we're
to
gonna do
stream
the sports
today?
and stuff probably
Pay us what you owe.
after, because the guest is gonna call in 30 minutes.
All right.
But
So,
something we gotta talk about.
so CP3, we're going to do
So,
sports and
as
stuff
I was
probably
coming home,
after the guest is going to call in 30 minutes.
something was put in the after bar chat.
But something we got to talk
So
about.
basically, in the metaverse,
So, as I was coming home from work,
a young lady said that she was
something was put in the after
sexually
bar chat.
virtually, right?
So basically, in the metaverse,
Kind of weird.
a young lady said that
Definitely
she
strange.
was sexually assaulted virtually, right?
And you had said, and then I think you were saying that you had heard about the story that happened.
Yeah.
Weird.
In February, I think this is when
Definitely strange.
that was mentioned. It may have happened in
And you
January.
said-
I
and
don't think
you
it was
saying
actually
that you
put
had
out
heard
there
about
until
this happened
February.
a while ago.
But for those who don't know, the metaverse is a virtual reality platform where you can have an avatar and you can live your life just like you normally would as your avatar in this new world, this virtual world. The parent company of Facebook, so we know who that is. I'm not really gonna say his name right now, but that's who has created the metaverse. I've actually had someone recently tell me, "Oh, you should look to get a job in the metaverse," and I'm like, "What? People are doing this?" But apparently so. You're laughing, but like this is a real thing. They're like having people work. I mean, we're a lot of people working virtually anyway, but they're doing it through the metaverse, and I was like, "What? That I can't wrap my mind around it." So I don't think that's good for me. Not yet.
So instead of going to a 9 to 5,
You would go to log onto your computer, go into the metaverse, and then you would do your 9 to 5 in that. But I've done the work from home thing anyway, virtually. So
would you still be getting paid regularly?
yes. But I'm wondering if there's like either like a choice because you might get paid in crypto.
Would you still be getting paid?
So I'm not really sure how that works, and because I'm not sure, I was like, no, that's okay.
Does anybody realize this is kind of like the plot to the Matrix? What's about to stop?
You
happening
understand
and
what
shit?
I'm saying? That's why I was like, I would decline. But with that said, that we know that people kind of sexually harass each other like on the regular internet, right? And that is an issue. Bullying, sexual harassment, things like that. And I'm gonna tell y'all a story about a recent issue I had. But this is now virtual reality. So it's a little more personal, a little more intimate. It's closer to real than the regular internet that we have been using. So this lady said, what did she say, like 5 or 6 guys?
They said she was gang raped
Yeah, they were
in the
like
metaverse.
like fondling her, but they have had these type of issues in the metaverse like constantly. So I'm like,
Not to laugh at it, but
what
I
type
mean,
of
if you
person?
groping them in the metaverse, what do they feel it, or what's going on?
No, but it's not a good feeling to see your avatar getting molested and people saying like, "Don't you like it?" and things like. I would be angry.
I mean, can't you just like take it off,
Would take
the headset off?
No, it's not about that. So you just gonna abandon your avatar? Poor
I
little
mean,
avatar
I'm
got
just
molested.
saying. I'm just
Oh my god. So you just like, I'm out. You just have her.
I mean, I don't. I mean, this is new to me. I'm like, hold up. This is the alternative
You can't
reality,
just leave your,
and
your
you just be like,
avatar
okay,
like that,
they're
man.
being rude. I'm
So-
going to leave.
So it's crazy. So there's no, I guess there's no metaverse cop.
I don't, but that's the thing. But here's the thing: we
They got
didn't have
SVU.
police until what? Until we needed them for something. Somebody needed the police.
They're
for
gonna have
something.
SVU.
Right? They're gonna have to have something. And then here's the bad part: the response that
Oh,
the
my
company
God.
gave. They said, "Oh, well, she should have had."
It's like she should have flipped some switch.
Yeah, she
so
should
you
have
can
had it
block
so that
people
they
or something.
couldn't. She couldn't interact with people. And then everybody, of course, like they got mad because it's like now you're virtually victim shaming now. It's like
It's crazy because the metaverse is owned by Facebook, right?
well, the company Meta owns Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
and
crazy
Facebook
because-
blocks you for memes.
Because the metaverse is owned by Facebook, right?
Like even
But you
old
can
memes.
get gang raped in the metaverse though.
But yet
So,
but you can come
and
over the
Facebook
train in the
blocks you
metaverse.
for me.
And then what they said after
Like,
they
even
said that they were
old
like, well,
memes.
this is good information.
What?
Right.
This is good feedback.
But
Yes,
they-
yeah, this
but
good
you can come over
feedback.
the train in the metaverse.
Terrible feedback. This is
Right.
crazy.
Because they're like, oh, well, now we can learn from this. What?
What?
No one thought about no
mean-
one had a thought like
But I
this
mean,
could
real
possibly
talk,
could happen.
It
that wouldn't
is
have been the first
reality.
thought in my mind. I'm not now. It's just me that I'm talking about. But you got a team of people. You got
No one
all
thought about-
kinds of weirdos out
No one
here.
had a thought like this could possibly
With
So-
money.
Somebody, nobody, that didn't cross nobody mind.
I'm just saying when the whole trans thing was coming about,
Yeah, nobody didn't think that through.
but
just
but
saying.
we talked about it
when,
here about,
when,
before the whole swimming incident
when the
Mhm.
whole
happened and stuff like that. We've had several
Trans
conversations
things was coming about.
about that here.
But we talked
Even
about
back
it
when
here
our
about
true radio days,
before the whole
back
swimming
down the
incident,
harbor and stuff, and back in
happened
this
and stuff like
we,
that.
we've
We've had
had
several
these real life conversations.
about that.
How would that affect
Um,
sports? How would that
Even
affect
back on our true radio
like my
days,
niece
back
going into the
down harbor
bathroom
and
and
stuff.
In public.
And,
Mhm.
back
You
in
know,
this
and
we've had
you
these
know,
real life
the
And-
conversations.
person who identifies as a woman.
But
How
they
would
were
that affect
they were dismissing
sports? How would
it,
that
and it's
affect,
like these are real
like
questions
my
though.
niece going
And
into a
I'm just,
bathroom
it's just sad that no one had a
and, you know,
thought
and,
about
you know, the
how would
person
this
who
affect a
identifies
woman
as a
if
woman.
20 guys got on it
Mhm.
and acted really like
And
teenagers
I'm
and
just
like
it's
guys.
sad that no
Um,
one had a thought
And with
about
no morals or scruples.
how would
and
this
there's
affect
nobody-
women.
No scruple.
I mean,
And there's nobody to monitor them.
And
this is a
acted
virtual reality. That's the face of reality. Like I said, nobody to monitor them. So, you know, we have the police and folks know the repercussions in the real world, but they didn't take into account that they need some type of policing going on in there for those situations. I can't believe they don't have some type of monitoring. That they monitor everything else. So how you not monitoring what's
You
going
got
on?
mine. You got
Yeah,
you
I
got
mean-
algorithms on algorithms on algorithms.
Yeah, it should be one at least like gang rape. You know, let's stop
right.
that.
There's so much wrong with this.
Because what if it's a teenage girl in the metaverse and he's grown men doing this to her?
That's. I mean, if you
Not the
sit
40
back,
not the 43-year-old mom who it's still worse,
right.
but it's still bad. But
But-
what if
and
it's
you
like
don't
a 15-year-old
know-
girl who doesn't know?
If somebody chooses, you don't
Not
know
the
the
40
reason why people
not
choose
the
choose to
43-year-old
go
mom
into the
who-
metaverse.
It's still worse.
Maybe they've had a
but
traumatic
still bad, but
experience
what
in
if
life,
like a
in real life,
16-year-old girl
so
who
they're like,
doesn't
let me
know?
try this, and thinking it may be an easier situation. That could be triggering to some other traumatic experience they've had. You never know. Like that was an epic fail.
It's a big fail.
It was an epic fail, and I feel like there's a lot of things out here now that it's too many loopholes. There is a
It's a big fail.
there's a dating app out, right? Now the dating app has other components to it. It started just strictly as a dating app, but now you can tag. It's called tag. Now you can go in and stream on there, right? So
They're making good money on it.
they are, but it's still very much a dating site. Because I got on there to support a friend who was streaming, right? The messages that I've received, out of control. That's part of the reason why I got off of POF. And apparently POF has the same component too now. So with that said, if I wanted to use these platforms just to stream and that's it, I'm still going to be subjected. Now you don't have to respond to these people, but I shouldn't be getting some of these messages. Like, are you kidding me?
No, that's the way it is. I mean, there's no filter. Folks want to be, folks want to, feel like they can say anything they want to, but then if somebody says something that hurts their feelings, they want to get offended and want to, get upset. And folks feel like they can, especially on the internet, that they can say whatever they want to say. And then you see in real life when folks think that way, and then when it goes terribly wrong, when you see them getting their ass beat, it's like the virtual reality thing is like they feel like, it's like they're not in the real world anymore. It's like they don't understand that, like you said, there is freedom of speech, but there's repercussions to saying certain things to certain people. Some people are going to take it the wrong way, and some people aren't going to have that buffer and not care about getting an assault charge or worse. So, I mean, it's like the lines have been blurred now. Like, nobody knows what's right and wrong. No, it's like no one has morals or has a moral compass anymore and knows when to shut the fuck up pretty much and just chill. But everybody wants to get offended. Everybody wants to be heard, but mostly nobody has anything to say, and that's the problem.
But at the end of the day, you have to think about it like this. You have so many people that use the internet, social media, and things like that for the wrong reasons. We literally, in this area, in the DMV area, we had a guy who called himself, well, they called him the shopping cart killer. You guys remember him, right?
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago. He used one of these dating apps to meet these women, kill them, put their body in the shopping cart, and leave them somewhere. That's what he chose to do. So it's very real that people use it for the incorrect reasons. So when you're developing a whole entire platform or, a virtual reality world, that's some of the things you do need to think about as far as policing it.
Well, it's kind of sad because they only think of the positive or the good that their cause is doing because they're so engulfed in it, they're so invested in it. They don't think about the negative stuff or the bad stuff because they already trained themselves to only look at it positively and pushing forward and making things better, and don't take a step back to say, well, what are the repercussions of some of these things that we're doing, and what are some of the pitfalls that might come with some of the successes that we're looking for. And unfortunately, the public are the victims of that thought process, going through what she's going through. And yeah, it probably could be traumatic, trying to play a video game or whatever, virtual reality, getting physically assaulted, that's just as worse as getting it done in real life, doesn't matter if it's virtual reality or not, that's still a violation of your personal space and all that other stuff. So, I mean.
And like I said, it can mess with someone's well-being. Well-being.
I'm not even in the right state of mind to even try to tackle this in a logical way right now.
The third thing about though, it's going to get worse before it gets better. We have, like I said, because I have nieces, so I have nieces that one of them is 16.
The third thing about though, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
That's a scary thought for me.
Like I said, I always.
And I have nephews too, and so is a fear.
I have nieces that
cyberbullying can mess with a
that's
person's
a scary
psyche.
thought.
Yeah.
Like if you go there to escape and someone's bullying you there, you find no peace.
Cyberbullying
can lead to extreme consequences.
Can mess with.
And that's a charge now, cyberbullying, because we've had people unfortunately take their lives off of cyberbullying, and that is now something that is against the law. So that's a good thing, but I mean, it's unreal. And like I said, I've experienced some things myself on the way people behave online with especially men who are aggressive towards me and they're a little psycho.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that yes, I'm thankful that you're able to block people and things like that, but the fact that I have to experience any of that, like I said, I got on this app not for the dating part of it, but and that's like I said, it's just my personal experience. I've showed since we've been sitting here, I've showed CP3 some of the messages. They're really disturbing because I've never even had a conversation with these people.
You gotta think about it, um, dude for making a man Chopper was just arrested for sex trafficking, and he was using the
You gotta think about it, dude for making a man Chopper was just arrested for sex trafficking.
social media when social media is one of those tools when it's used the right way, it's great. It's used the bad way. It's almost as deadly as a loaded gun.
There was a woman, because it's not just romantic people. There was a woman who joined a group. She's pregnant. There was a bunch of pregnant women who, like if you needed stuff, this is the group to go to. People would give you stuff for free. They just want to get rid of it, baby stuff. So she was pregnant. She was preparing for her baby. Someone told her they had a car seat, a free car seat she can get. She was like, okay, cool. She met up with the woman. The woman kidnapped her, cut the baby out of her stomach, killed her, and kept the baby. Yeah, this is real. This was on Facebook. She was in one of those Facebook groups. And that's how it happened. It was like a manhunt for her and for the baby. They found her body. Of course, she was no longer pregnant. And they hunted down the family, and like it was a big ordeal. This was in the last few years, and it's rather unfortunate that people are using it. It's just these people always existed, but they just have a new platform to use to do it. So now it's really amplified, and it's unfortunate that you have a whole new virtual world and nobody's thinking about this.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Talk about some happy stuff. So shout out to Eric Kruger. Shout out to Assad. He's tuned in on IG. Shout out to Songbird, Nadia. She actually set this interview up. So
he's tuned in. On
she's
IG.
a good person.
She actually set this interview up.
We play a video. We play a video definitely today. Show support.
She's a good person. She'll set up interviews for us.
We'll talk to a HipHop Legend.
Shout out to her. And we play her video. We'll play a video definitely today. We always show support.
And then,
salute.
And then towards the end, people get into his
we'll talk to a HipHop legend.
Rant and ratchetness.
You always have a rant every show.
It's the precursor to hockey playoffs. Just had the draft. Got Nats up right now, 8-1. So I'm chill.
It's a long show.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that. I'm chilling.
Right, because there's been times you was like real calm, really chilling, and then it was like bam, like.
Depends on what's going on.
And you know what? And then next thing you know, we thought we insulted McDonald's workers.
Depends on what gets talked about. Depends on who comments, man. Somebody says something that needs to be addressed. I'm going to address it in my own special way. That's what I do.
Okay, Sugarfoot.
Yeah, that's what I do. Everybody can't do this. See, I got the pinky out.
If you got the pinky out, you're gonna be though.
Got the pinky out, so you know.
At least get you some wine and do that.
Nah, I sip everything with the pinky out.
You and this damn pinky.
Hey, man.
I don't know what to say. We at least put a ring on it.
I used to have one.
I believe it.
I know.
I believe it.
It was nice too.
Did you have it when we worked together?
I didn't wear it to work.
Did you have it? Because your persona was.
That could be possible.
Probably.
It's possible.
Terrible. Only certain type of people wear pinky.
What type of people are those? What type of people are those?
No offense to people who wear men who wear pinky rings.
Feel like I'm being
However, I do want to say you have to have a certain type of personality.
What to wear? Pinky ring? Come on now. I feel profile.
So when did you get your first pinky ring? After you listened to Chicken album?
I got in my mid-20s, man. You know, I was going through a lot at that time.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of things.
So what made you get a pinky
So
ring?
when did you get your first pink ring? After you
Something
listened
to do.
Something
Too Short
to
for
do.
the
Yeah,
Sound?
you know, something different.
That's what
Everybody,
it's like.
yeah, everybody don't have one.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I said
It's-
it's only a certain type of male will wear a pinky
I
ring.
like to be unique. You know?
Okay.
I like to be a trendsetter.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You can say some people can say it's trendsetters.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people
See,
say
that's
it's
the way.
pimps.
See,
Some
that's-
people can say it's people who like to be unique.
Exactly. That's the way I choose to look at it. You can look at it, you know, some people say only pimps wear that, do that. That's cool. I dig it. You know, it's a stereotype.
So,
It's a stereotype.
so were you pimping with the pinky ring?
Good question.
No, I was not.
Did you slap anyone with a pinky ring? Like, that's what we really want to know.
So
I smacked some asses maybe with the pinky ring.
Did you
on.
backhand anyone
So
with the
did you
pinky
have
ring?
did you have a bottom bitch?
Nah, I didn't get that deep into the game. Nah.
Did you backhand anyone wearing this pinky ring?
Somebody might have caught a backhand on a time or two
did you have a
when I
bottom
might have had it on. But it wasn't on purpose. It was
Did
just
you
a reflex.
pregnate any of your workers?
Not that I know of.
And he always
I try to keep it professional.
That's always gonna be his answer.
It's never a yes or no. Not that I know.
Because situations happen. We know this, man. I can't always account for every nut that I done busted.
Oh, God.
Sometimes, you know,
never says
you wake up in a strange
never a yes
place
or no. Not that I know.
in bed with somebody you don't remember talking to.
Many times does that happen?
Did you sample all your workers?
Nah, most of them, nah. I took their word for it. Because then they'll get attached. You don't want that.
Did you
He
sample
took their word
sample
for
all your workers?
Aren't you?
So
Yeah.
they said it was good. You just took their word for it. You didn't
Well, I
want
found out. I didn't do, but somebody else did.
But what's good to everyone is that one person isn't the
So
same for
if they said
everyone.
it was
True,
good,
but there's
you
certain
took their word for it,
characteristics you look for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too Short said in an interview, in his live interview, he said if he wasn't in doing hip hop, he'd be either a pimp or a college kid.
A
Too Short
college
said
kid.
in an interview,
Hey, man, it's a
in his
thin
live
line.
I'm gonna
interview,
go
he
for
said
pimp
if he
for
wasn't
Too
in
Short.
doing hip hop, he'd be either
Very
a pimp.
I always laughed at that meme that they had Jaheim and Too Short. And it was like Jaheim put that woman first, and he looked really like he's struggling.
And Too Short still looks exactly the same.
Yes.
I always laugh at that meme.
But
that had
Too Short
Jaheim
finally
and
became
Too
a
Short.
dad. He was like
And it
50
was like
when he
Jaheim
became
put
a
that woman
father.
first,
He
and
was
he
like
looks
50.
like he's
Well,
struggling.
when he finally finds his kid.
Yes.
Ain't got nothing to worry about. You say ain't no stress on me. But that
We
might be
got
true. Might be
Only like
50.
50.
Who knows?
so CP3, you were saying before the show started, you were saying that some people think that we always picking.
Yeah, you know, it's all good. You know, I feel profiled sometimes, but you know, it's all in good fun, and you know, it's all good. I don't mind.
So, but do you tell these people? Do you tell these people some of the stuff that you tell us?
They watch the show, man. They see everything. They see what they see. It's all live, baby.
And I'm gonna say this: as soon as I get here every day, guys,
You tell these people some of the stuff that you tell us.
Oh.
the reason why he's laughing is because he picks on me
What's up, that pick
every
on her?
day. He picks. Am I right? One by one. Don't he pick on me every day?
At the
Every
beginning of the
single
show,
day. Yes.
It's not my fault.
It's not now. It's not his
You
fault.
throw off my color content on my screen. I gotta recalibrate things when you get into the
He
screen.
jokes about her color.
He'll make jokes about me cutting people or anything like that, or
Hasn't it happened before?
what, me cut somebody?
Yes.
Have you cut someone?
No.
Oh.
Exactly. That's not a common thing for somebody to be like,
Okay.
yeah, I've cut a
Doesn't
motherfucker
matter.
before. That's what I'm just
But
saying, you
I
know.
haven't done anything like that in a really long time.
It's a slippery slope. Alcohol involved too.
Whatever. But I want y'all to know CP3, he picks on people. So please
I mean,
do not feel
he's
sorry
not
for
an
him. Well, we know that. We know he's not an
I'm
angel.
sitting here watching the Nats game, taking my notes for my sports
What?
section,
Oh,
y'all.
that's what
This
you
is
do?
what I
That's all
do.
you do?
I'm just drinking the beer, y'all.
you
That's
don't
all
pick
I'm.
on me?
I don't know what you're
CP3
speaking of.
That's-
I have no idea what you're speaking of.
want somebody to chime in on this. CP3 believes that Budweiser is the king of beers.
Oh,
Hey,
that's
CP3
awful.
believes
it is when you broke.
That's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard.
I want somebody to tune in.
I don't care whether you broke or not.
CP3
The facts are the facts.
When you can get two 25 ounce for $3, hey.
Now, it might be clutch when you broke, but
Next
that's
you
just
want to tell
doesn't
me
mean
Steel Reserve is an aphrodisiac.
No, it's good for cooking crabs though.
Steel Reserve?
Mm-hmm.
Next you gonna,
Crab.
But he
That's
got
why you
mad
can't
at
eat it.
me
next you gonna
when
tell
I bought him.
Wasn't no crabs here.
next you gonna tell me Steel
You just bought a 40 of steel.
aphrodisiac.
I went with
But
what
you
I
still
thought
drinking
you would
Wasn't
like.
nothing else in the house. Shut up. I'm an AK, any kind when there ain't nothing available. Shit. It has
You
some past
seem
blue
to
ribbon. I'd have
enjoy
drunk that
it.
shit.
I thought I was doing a good thing.
Oh my
I
god.
ain't had no choice. Hey man, when your times is hard, man, you get a 30 pack of that shit for like $10.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
You really drink that? Okay.
Oh my God, Patch Blue Ribbon.
You stay, CP3.
Hey man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the bar. What's going on? What's going on? 151. We got Lady Internet and CP3 in the building.
hello.
What's going
Hey,
on,
what's
man?
going on? Welcome at the bar.
Yeah, can you hear us?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah.
We got Lady
And,
Internet and CP3 in the building.
We got Mr.
Hello?
It's
Yeah.
Mr. Raheem,
Can
right?
you hear us?
Yeah, can y'all hear
Okay,
me?
it's funny because my real name is
Yeah.
Raheem. We got Mr. Raheem from the Furious Five
We got
legendary hip hop group.
It's Mr. Raheem, right?
Man, I just want to pick your
Yes,
brain.
Raheem.
Like, you like a certified OG.
Indeed.
We got Mr. Raheem from the Furious
Hip hop
Five
legend.
legendary hip hop.
First of all,
Yep.
welcome to At the
I
Bar.
just want to pick your brain. 'Cause,
Yes, sir.
like,
Yes.
like certified OGs.
Thank you for coming on. This is a big interview.
First of all, welcome to At the
I mean,
Bar.
I'm a hip hop head. You can't tell. So.
Thank you for having me.
A little choked up.
Thank you for coming on. This is a
That-
big interview.
That's such a classic, group. And
I'm a hip hop head. You can't tell. So
I'm gonna let Lady
a little
Internet
choked
start.
up.
Well,
That-
you've
that's
definitely
such a classic.
been a pioneer in this
I'm
industry.
gonna let Lady Internet start us off.
Tell us how you think the current state of hip hop is. That's a very common question, but someone from your era, we really want to hear that.
Oh wow, y'all want to die right
Yeah, I mean, that's me. That's
That's
it's
what
my
we
fault.
do.
That's me all the time because I mean we gonna skip all that because we know who you are.
Oh, wow.
But I want to
Y'all
know
just wanna
how
dive
you
right
feel
in,
because
huh?
we
Y'all-
usually have artists, the younger artists, up and coming artists, and I want to know how you feel about that right now.
now. So, the reason why I think y'all want to die right now because
Right.
generally, that's one of the questions.
Okay, so, the reason why I said y'all want to dive right in is because, generally, that's one of the questions that's asked, but it's usually not the first one. And,
Give them
it kind of gives us an opportunity to build up to that, but since y'all want to dive right in, y'all don't want to give them an appetizer first. Here we go. This is the main course right here. My take on the current state of hip hop, without placing the blame on the artists, because generally, in most cases, the artists aren't the ones who are in control, with the exception of very few. But generally, the artists aren't in control of the material that they make. They're being, told what the kind of material to make, to create. And if they don't create that kind of material, they're generally show. There's a reason for that.
Art is controlled.
One, we're no longer in control of our culture and haven't been for quite some time. the entities that are in control of our culture are our government, surprisingly to some people, and the prison system. And between 1989 and 1990, which was a changing of the guards, as it were, for rap music. Because, okay, so in 1989, the biggest rap song of 1989 was probably "Fight the Power" by Public Enemy.
Yes.
And so, as a result of that success and the resurgence of the dormant Black Power movement being, being resurged after, re-energized after, being dormant since the 60s, for the most part, and it began to, kind of like emerge again in 1989 a little bit, but then curtail that. A company called Corrections Corporation of America, the largest independent facilitator of privately owned penitentiaries in this country, who have made deals with 48 states in this country to have a privately owned penitentiary erected in that respective state based on the conditions that that state could maintain a 90% incarceration rate. If you are an impressionable adolescent who loves hip hop, and all you hear from your favorite artists, probably more times a day than you hear your parents or your teacher, because you have earbuds in your ear, whatever. And they're telling you that the very blueprint to their success is to, stand in the corner, lobby of the building, wherever, and sell Molly, Percocet, dope, coke, crack, name it. The most influenced demographics of that population by that music becomes that, and that's called the power of suggestion. And the power of suggestion is extremely powerful, but it's very subtle. And so we don't realize that we're being programmed, but the very people who are in charge of what we listen to every day on our local radio stations and our local, television networks are called program directors. And so program directors, dictate whatever the programming for that respective network or that respective station is going to project to the listener. It's called broadcasting, right? Right? Broadcasting is the same thing as casting a spell. Casting a spell and broadcasting are one and the same. Broadcasting and casting a spell. The only difference between broadcasting and casting a spell is that broadcasting means you're casting a spell on a much larger level, but you're casting a spell nonetheless. And if you think that it's not casting a spell, then you have the wrong perception of what magic is. Casting a spell could be as simple as, placing a curse on someone. When someone says to someone else, you know what, you ain't never gonna be ish. And, all that's needed in order for that curse to be effective is for the person who the curse is that's being placed on to believe it. Right? And so advertisers spend millions and millions of dollars every day to influence consumers through broadcasting and through other means of advertising that we need their products. That's called the power of suggestion. So they're very well aware of how powerful but how subtle it works. Another case in point. If you notice, or if you've noticed over the years, at one point in time, the sale of cigarettes and tobacco products used to be advertised. Used to be advertised on television, in magazines, and that sort of thing. Okay, so after the last Surgeon General caught heat from not acknowledging the fact that cigarettes, cause lung cancer or whatever, on packs of cigarettes where it said, Surgeon General has determined, blah blah blah, or whatever. So as a result of that, now the tobacco industry has been regulated by the government, and so they are no longer allowed to advertise the sale of tobacco in any advertising because they full well through the power of suggestion that a certain demographics of the country or race of cigarettes, but if it were to be advertised, a much larger population would be affected and smoke cigarettes. So, they're aware of how it works. So that's as all of this relates to rap music. We're being our music is being has been weaponized against us. And people, there's some people who recognize that, and then there's some people who don't. The only thing that I have to say to the people who don't recognize that or don't acknowledge that our music has been weaponized against us is, sometimes you can be so deep in the forest that you can't see the trees. When you're so close to something, sometimes you don't see, the effects that it has, or maybe you might have a tendency of overlooking the effects. But when the effects, are at your doorstep, like for example, I bet you the majority of your favorite rap artists who are like top tier today, I bet you the majority of them who have children don't allow their children to listen to their music. I'd be willing to bet.
I definitely appreciate you calling in and appreciate your perspective because I kind of feel the same way. I'm not an old school guy like yourself. I am consider myself an old school hip hop head. But the message that's being put out there and being circulated and being played over and over again is, like you said, is putting a certain mentality out there. So what can we, the consumer or the artist, do to try to curb it back to some type of message, positive message, and try to get that out there, even though we know the big labels aren't going to promote that type of music?
I think that one of the most effective ways some sort of diversity.
I think that one of the most effective ways to get back to some sort of semblance of diversity in rap music would be one, as consumers, as listeners, I think that we have to be, we have to do a better job of vetting, what artists that we support because, and I'm not saying to completely,
more of a balance because there was a time in rap music.
Abandon all of the artists who make this kind of music, but I think that there needs to be some, more of a balance because there was a time in rap music, the late 80s, when rap music was at its all-time most diverse, and there were, a multitude of diverse artists that you could listen to that didn't sound like one another. It wasn't like this cookie cutter, wasn't this cookie cutter mentality where, if you turned on the radio and listened to, the top 20 songs, that every one of these songs sounded like, and the majority of the songs, they talking about the same thing. You had Tribe Called Quest, you had Rakim, you had, Slick Rick, you had
Much more diverse,
Salt and Pepper,
as
MC Light,
corporate America, and more.
it was just much more diversity. But as corporate America became more aggressively
Everybody, not just corporate America, every corporate structure
involved
their
in,
job
our culture. Because it's corporate everybody, not just corporate America. Every corporate structure, it's their job to learn culture, assimilate,
regurgitate it,
and then create their own version of what they feel our culture is supposed to be, and then regurgitate it and sell it back to us. Okay? And so that's what they did. That's what they did with gangster rap when gangster rap was ushered in 1990. Okay? And there are people who are advocates for gangster rap, and they'll argue me tooth and nail and be like, I'm just outdated in my thinking, or it doesn't have an effect on the mentality of the youth and so forth and so on. But if you were to do a case study and survey two groups of adolescents, and put them in two separate rooms, and you play Light FM in one of the rooms exclusively the whole time, and then you play aggressive rap music in another room, and you observe behavior, you'll definitely see a distinctive difference in the way that they behave. I even notice it for myself. Like, if I listen to aggressive rap music while I'm driving, I drive more aggressively. If I'm listening to if I listen to DMX or Tupac while I'm driving, like, don't be walking in the street. I might hit your ass. You know what I mean? Like, and so, people who don't believe that music and visual images have this kind of effect on us, they're either in denial or they just haven't paid enough attention, because visual images and audio frequencies are two things that enter our subconscious mind without our permission. And a perfect example of that is, how many times have you heard a song that you absolutely hated, but because it was in heavy goddamn rotation on your local radio station, after a while, this song that you absolutely hated, you knew every word to. Right? That's right. That's because of the perpetual playing of it. One, anything perpetually played, eventually, you know, as much resistance as there is or as there could possibly be against it, unless people just, you know, stand together and vehemently, you know what, we're not going, don't play that no more, we ain't listening. You know, unless people take that stance, they're going to keep playing. You know, because it's their job, it's the program director's job. Because they were given their orders from the corporate entity to program the listener, because they're in business with the radio, is in business with with the prisons as well, because they made like closed door deals with record company executives and radio in 1989, 1990. And that's, I mean,
Right.
how else would you explain how abruptly the changing of the guard, so to speak, happened in rap music? Because there was no gangster rap in 1989. Really? Like, I wouldn't say there was gangster rap in 1989. You might have heard, you heard Cool G rap, or you might have heard my man Schoolie D with PSK or whatever. But like, it wasn't mainstream. Like, every radio station wasn't playing that, and every artist wasn't trying to be a gangster until the ushering in of gangster rap officially. Because once they ushered gangster rap in, they made it, they completely obscured, the original rap music. And so now I'm not saying that we need to obscure gangster rap. What I am saying is that the solution is we need a balance. We need, to be able to have access as listeners to all of this music. Because gangsterism is a reality. So I'm not saying that we should completely, ignore and not acknowledge the fact that, these things do happen in our communities. But it's not the only things that happen in our communities. And life is such a broad topic overall that we as artists have the ability to talk about a multitude of
I have a question now.
life circumstances
So,
at
when
any
did you know
given
that hip
time,
hop
in
was going to
any
be
given song.
the juggernaut that it is? When did you know that this music
I have a
was going
question
to
now.
really change the world?
Sure.
So,
Mhm.
when did you know that hip hop was going to be the juggernaut that it is? When did you know that this music was going to really change the world?
There were different things, different pivotal, events that took place in our career that kind of gave me a bird's eye view of where things were going and how influential, rap music was or is. And one of the things was that obviously seeing it from its inception to it becoming a multi-billion-dollar industry. I've seen every nuance of it, and in watching its growth, and seeing it during its infancy, and the things that stuck and the things that didn't stick. It made me feel, and I can't speak for any of the other guys in my group, it made me feel like like when we went to did our first show in a foreign country. One of the things that made me know was that rap music, you know, influenced the whole planet was, you know, here we are in a foreign country and their primary language wasn't English, but they knew every single word to every song. Like that's powerful. You know, these people don't speak English. They know every single word to every single song we perform, and after our performance, the whole Coliseum stayed to see if they could have a beer with us.
What?
To see if they could have a beer with us. Do you know how drunk? Do you know how drunk?
I can't even imagine walking out of a whole Coliseum trying to buy it.
Nah. They can have it.
Yeah.
Imagine walking out of a whole Coliseum trying to buy it.
Like, yeah, you know, because we performed at this festival in Germany called Oktoberfest, and Oktoberfest is all about beer.
Lady Antoinette, what you got?
So,
Any questions?
We got plenty.
Crazy.
well, I have another question.
Lady
We do credit you guys for laying the foundation.
Any
And
other
we,
questions?
of course, we are so thankful for that.
Okay.
But a lot of times we kind of look at the why and the when. But for you, do you think there's anything that you would do different as far as laying down that foundation? If you could do it all over again.
If I could do it all over, I mean, you know, I'm not a regretful type of person. And I'm happy.
If I could do it all over again, I mean, you know, I'm not a regretful type of person.
Possibly if I
I'm
could
happy
rewind
with my
contribution from
contribution,
the beginning,
and you know, I think that maybe, you know, possibly if I could rewind the clock and do this over from the beginning, there's a couple of things I probably would do differently. I probably may not have been a member of my group if I could do it all over again. I probably would have been a solo artist.
I probably would have, much more
I
diligently
probably would have
pursued
had my own label. You know, I probably would have, you know, much more diligently pursued writing and producing for other artists. I mean, I do that. You know, I've done that for years, but I haven't like really gone like hard and aggressive, you know, to get production on. I was a staff producer working with Teddy Riley when he produced the group Blackstreet, and I was also a staff producer working for Dr. Dre. Right before he signed Eminem, but you know, people don't really know me as a producer, and I am. So
You got CP3.
you know, that's probably
Excuse me. On the producing aspect, because I also, you know, make some beats and, you know, try to get into the, you know, different genres of making beats. Now we see the impact of hip hop, like you say, on everything, and along with movies and movie soundtracks. You mentioned getting into the producer aspect more of it. Could you ever see yourself getting into that aspect of going into like movie soundtrack production?
Well, yeah, actually, if you are familiar with the
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Actually, um, if you are familiar with the film Juice, starring Tupac Shakur, I wrote,
Nice.
produced, and sung and rapped a song that's on the Juice soundtrack that I got a gold record for called "Does Your Man Know About Me?" Um,
Yeah,
and
I like it. That was my joint.
I don't know if you're familiar with a Netflix original series called The Get Down.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. That was my joint.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, um,
Nice.
Nas and myself wrote all of the rap lyrics for the actors in that yeah.
Yes, we're familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the days, like there was a group called Riff that
Yeah.
yeah, the movie soundtrack Lean on Me. Well, I had produced and written a song that was on their album project, and it was called April Fool. But I'm not sure
Um,
if their album was ever released or not. But I definitely produced that song.
So you've been busy. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quietly, I'm a musician.
Okay.
I've been the first instrument that I learned how to play in school, like reading chart music and all of that, was tenor saxophone. Played in the school band, and one day I was walking through the hallways of my high school,
Mhm.
and found a key on the floor. And I tried it to every classroom door until I found the classroom door that fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened to be the piano room. So whenever I didn't want to participate in gym because they was playing a sport I didn't want to participate in, like volleyball or something, I would I would cut
Mhm.
gym class and lock myself in the piano room and turn the lights out. And I learned how to play the piano in the dark. I taught myself, and so I play keys. You know, after that, I picked up a guitar and taught myself a little bit of guitar. So I do production, and I,
Nice.
I don't mind.
are you working on
I
any
don't
like
mind
memoirs or
sampling,
anything
but
like that?
if
Because
there's
you
a
have such a
sample
great
that I can
history.
actually play, then I would prefer to replay it.
are you working on any like memoirs or anything like that? Because you have such a great history.
Thank you. I'm actually working on a three-book autobiography uh, series,
Hello.
and my first book is due
September.
for release in September.
Where will they be able to get it
And
at?
the book series is called The Books of Writing. Yep.
Where will they be able to get it at?
The first book will be available in September, but it's a three-book series. The first book entails, the story of my childhood prior to
Sounds like it's gonna be very deep and
involvement in hip hop
all the way back
culture.
to the before hip hop to
No.
then your journey into hip hop. I think that's
That
it's gonna be very very fascinating.
sounds like it's gonna be very deep and
In order to
going all the way back
truly
from before hip hop to
get
then you.
get an idea
I think
of
it's gonna be
why
very.
Yeah, because
and how
in order to truly
what
get get an idea of
elements were
why
that
and how hip hop began and what the elements were that circumstances that were in place socially that propelled the youth of of the Bronx to engage in this movement that was unbeknownst to us that
Got something
became
on Lady Angela?
this
Yeah, I have one
multicultural,
question. Hopefully
multi-billion
this is
dollar
a
industry.
fun time for you to flashback on some things, but can you tell us one of the maybe the craziest things that you have experienced in the entertainment business, as you would say? You have such a vast career. Can you tell us one of the craziest things you've experienced?
Well, one of the craziest things that I experienced was during rap.
Well, one of the craziest things that I experienced
Accepted by everyone.
was, during
In New York
during
City,
rap music's
you know, in
growth period, before it was completely, accepted by everyone.
you would think,
In New York City, this melting pot of, ethnicities, you would think that, when you think about a show that happened in Manhattan, in Midtown Manhattan, at a club called Bonds International. My group, we opened for a punk rock group called The Clash. Clash are a very popular group, and so the place was sold out. We were performing 2 shows this night and opening for The Clash. So this is an all-white audience that we're performing for. This is 1981, and this is before rap music was accepted by,
white people
the pop was accepted by pop culture or white people. And so, white people were not yet exposed to rap music or rap performances, concerts. And so we were opening for The Clash. And when we walked out on stage, Flash, he was the first one from our group to go out on stage. And when he walked out on stage, and he got behind the turntable and began to scratch a record, the audience was expecting us to be a band because they had never seen rap artists, and they didn't know that rap artists, for the most part, used a DJ, not a band. So everything was all right for a short period when Flash first walked out on stage, even though they were expecting us to be a band and we weren't. And so Flash was cutting, some records or whatever. And then it got to the part in the show where we walked out on stage. And the stage, it was a man-made stage. It wasn't, a very sturdy stage. It was pretty rickety. And so when we got up there, we did, choreographed dance routines. And when we began doing our dances, this was pre-DAT tape or pre any other digital kind of sound medium to play, our show. So Flash was physically using records, using vinyl to cut up the songs that we had, to perform to. So the stage is rickety, Flash is cutting, and needle on the record began to skip. Once the needle on the record began to skip, this all-white audience, they turned hostile, and they began to pelt us with all kinds of debris. Um, they were going to the bar, ordering cans of beer, and they were throwing full cans of beer at us. And the only reason why the show went on our behalf was because we were getting paid $18,500 to do one show that night, but we were scheduled to do two. So the show went on. We stayed up there performing and ducking debris simultaneously. And when that performance was over, before they let the next hostile white audience in, because the same thing happened both shows, we hopped off the stage and walked through the audience to see if we saw, we could recognize any of the white people that was throwing at us, but we didn't. And so the next show, we got back up on the stage and did the same thing. The same result happened. So that was very traumatizing. It's very traumatizing,
Right.
period, for any artist to stand before any audience and and the audience turn hostile. Like that's not it. So that's the worst case scenario for every artist. So and especially if when we were the only black people in this whole club, so like it was like, damn, like, was this a setup? Like, yo, but the only reason why we kept going is because we was getting paid that money.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
But that was a crazy experience. We were on tour with Rick James one time, and and the things that Charlie Murphy, rest in peace, said about Rick James were absolute truths. I was physically there when Rick James slapped Charlie Murphy. I was physically there at Studio 54. Rick James was an Aquarius, and so am I. And so we connected when my group toured with him. And so he called me his little Aquarian brother, and every time he would come to New York City, he would call me, and I would meet him wherever he was, and we would hang out. So, I remember one time I hung out. He told me to meet him at the Parker Meridian Hotel in Manhattan. I went there, and he was like, "Yo, we gonna go to Rock Smoky Robinson and meet up with Eddie Murphy." So this was when Eddie Murphy was on Saturday Night Live. So we went to Saturday Night Live, and we met Eddie Murphy and Smokey Robinson and Jamie Lee Curtis came and met us there. We all went to Studio 54 after that and hung out.
What did you do when you saw that?
Rick slapped Charlie Murphy.
Right.
What did you do when you saw that happen? I have to know.
I just giggle my ass off. I mean, I've seen Rick do some wild stuff. Like one time, because one of the reasons why he took a liking to us is because we did a show somewhere with him, and while we were on stage performing, some guys broke into our tour bus and like stole our belongings, like you know, a lot of our clothes were like scattered in the street, and they like took suitcases and stuff, like rummaging through suitcases to like find valuables or whatever. And so we had gotten off the stage and we didn't know that our tour bus had gotten broken into yet. And so one of our roadies came downstairs and was like, "Yo, the tour bus got broken into," and he said he thought that he saw some guys that was in like a field across the street where the tour buses were parked, and it seemed like they knew something or maybe they were involved, and we should come up there. So we all got dressed and we went up there, and we went. Some of us went over and confronted the guys in the field, and they didn't respond favorably or whatever. So we started scrapping with them, and then I came back to the tour bus and walked on the bus to see what of mine was missing. And I remember I had some stuff in a closet on the bus, and so I walked to the closet and opened the closet door. And when I opened the closet door, I saw someone standing in the closet. I could see his feet, but he had my coat over his face and head, but he's standing in the closet. So I close the closet door back, and I go outside the bus, and I whisper and call all of the rest of the members of the group, and it's like, "Yo, there's some fool inside the closet door. Inside the closet on the bus." And so we all got on the bus, and we opened the closet door and let the games begin. We whooped him, and he was very, very happy to see the police when they got there. And so after Rick James saw, because he came outside the Coliseum, he saw us putting it on that dude and two other dudes that was in the field across the street. He was like, "Yo, I don't need no damn security on this tour. All I need is a Grandmaster Furious 5. They whoop somebody else." So after that, he put us on his tour with him. And so it was Rick James. We were on tour with the Commodores when Lionel Richie was still a member, and Carl Carlton, that made She's a Bad Mama Jamma and Fatback Band, and Switch when Bobby DeBarge was still alive, rest in peace. The Gap Band. Man, we toured with some heavy hitters, with some greats that helped to influence the people who made the music that became
that whole Rick James story just threw my whole mindset off. I'm just the fact that he was there when it happened. I'm just replaying the Dave Chappelle skit in my head right now. What did Five Fingers say to the face? And that's all I keep on thinking right now. So I don't even have a question now. I'm sorry. I zoned out. I was somewhere else, man.
Man, you almost thrown me off CP3. Not gonna fall for it. So, what is your Mount Rushmore of hip hop?
Man,
right.
you almost thrown me off CP3. I'm not gonna fall for it. So, what is your Mount Rushmore of hip hop?
I don't really.
You know, I'm always asked
The only reason why
who's my top five,
is
and
because
I don't really,
you really actually.
I don't do that.
I don't like any
the only reason why I don't do that is because it's a few reasons actually. Um, I don't like any rap artists for the same reason. Like I wouldn't compare like people compare Jay-Z and Nas. I'd never compare the two because there's a distinct difference between the two of them. Jay-Z cares about, understands, and knows that there is a precise formula to making commercial hit rap music. Okay? Nas, either he's not concerned with trying to be commercial, and he's happy with his core fan base, and so he makes the music that he doesn't step outside of his comfort zone to appease a larger demographics of people, right? So that would be like the difference between Michael Jackson and Prince.
So that's why I would say one better than the other. They both,
two great, both great, but great for different reasons. So that's the reason why I wouldn't compare the two. So that's why I wouldn't say one is better than the other. They both are great in their own regard. To me. I like different people for different reasons. Different artists for different reasons, and I love Busta Rhymes' energy, and he makes some, some of the dopest party rap music around. But as dope as a rap artist as he is, I don't particularly want to hear Busta drop science. Even though he's intelligent, and his last project he dropped science, and I thought it was dope. But that's not really what I want to hear from Busta Rhymes.
You want to party with Busta.
Correct.
And we all,
because that's what
what I mean. So
his hits are known for.
Right, and I think that's his niche, that's his strength. And we all have we all want to explore our artistry and venture outside of our comfort zone, or that which is what we're known for.
when I like your music,
a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, when I like your music, there are reasons. Everybody likes everybody's music for a reason, but for me, I just try not to.
Because I try to appreciate the compare
artists.
I would
agree where I'll say somebody's better than somebody else. Because I try to appreciate them all, because I'm still an artist, and I would like to believe about myself and my artistry that I can still be competitive. So for me to put
you hit on such
other
a good
people
point.
in the top five.
So one of the things I
myself
tell young artists, when you
demographics,
ask this question,
I think
who
I'd
your
be
top
doing
five
myself a
about
tremendous
Westbrook,
disservice.
very rarely do they put themselves in that.
You hit on such
And
a good point.
I always tell them,
So one of the
if
things
you ain't your biggest
tell
fan,
young
then how you
artists
expect
when
other
you
people
ask
to
these
believe?
questions, who your top
If you
five
don't
are
believe
about
in yourself,
Westbrook, very rarely
you know.
put themselves in that book.
And I'm
Right.
so happy.
I always tell
Legend,
them, if you ain't your biggest fan, then how you expect other people to believe?
because that I think that is
Exactly.
the perfect mentality of
And with that,
any artist. You should strive.
And
to
I'm
be
so
able to-
happy a legend said it.
If you don't
Because
ride,
I think that is the perfect mentality of any.
And this is why I tell people, pay attention, especially when you have these shows like this. Tap in.
Right.
because we're
If
going to
you
give you
know why
something
you do it.
other,
Exactly.
some knowledge and stuff. And it's stuff
And
that we
this is
repeatedly
why
said on
I
the
tell
show,
people,
and
you
then
know,
to
pay
hear
attention,
a hip
especially when
hop
you're having
legend
shows
say it,
like this.
it's,
You know, tap in.
it just
In terms
solidifies
of
everything
giving you
that we do.
something
Mhm.
And
some knowledge and stuff.
and
And
that
this is stuff that
mentality
we
with
repeatedly
him,
said on the show.
with him
And
saying it, we're not
a hip
even
hop legend said,
any of us
it's,
hitting
you
at
know,
it. We just wonder
it just
what you're gonna say,
solidifies
and then when you hit that point, it's like,
and
ooh,
you know, and
you know,
that mentality
it's classic.
with him saying it, we're not
You
even
know, and not,
any of us hitting at it. We just wonder what you're gonna say, and then when you hit that point, it's like, ooh,
or,
you know,
or delusion.
it's classic.
And you know, and not
Some of us,
and not even out of arrogance
the inception
or
era
or
of this
or delusion. Because
some of
some of us
believe that
from the inception
there's nothing
era
wrong
of hip hop,
with that thinking
um,
when
some of us believe that we're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and there's nothing wrong with that thinking when your ability matches that attitude. But if you don't have the ability that matches the attitude, then that's something else. So if you do a little research and you find out who Raheem from the Furious Five is today as compared to who I was, you'll find that I'm a
I
little
would
bit
say
different.
this, when you start naming Juice, and you start naming that you work with Dr. Dre in the early stages of Eminem,
My era.
you know a lot. I've seen
That's all
Deuce
I'll
and
say.
Rev.
I would say this.
You stay constantly
Start naming
relevant
Jews,
with
and
music.
start naming that you
So
work with
many
Dr. Dre
eras,
in
and,
the early
and
stages of
you
Eminem.
basically almost had a hand
You know a lot
in
behind
each
the
era
scenes of producing and Rev.
of hip hop.
Like,
I mean,
you stay
especially.
constant and
You know,
relevant in music.
we're
So
gonna give
many
you your
eras,
flowers while you're here.
you basically
Right.
almost
You
had
know,
a hand in
what
each
you've
era
done is very impressive.
of hip hop. It's legendary.
I didn't even know that.
You know,
And just hearing it,
we're gonna give you
getting
your
off.
flowers while you're here.
And we salute.
What you've done is very impressive.
We
Because
salute you for that, right? Honestly,
I didn't even know everything.
genuinely,
And just hearing it,
to hear all this stuff, and and
And
then you're not even just talking about the good, you talk about the bad too.
Right.
Like so many people will give you cookie cutter interviews, and don't tell you the
like,
real shit.
to hear all
You
this
told us
stuff,
about a time when people thought the can that you
and then you're not even just talking about the good, you
Uh,
talked about the bad too.
like
Like
the
so many
honesty
people
and
give you
authority.
cookie cutter interviews
We
and don't see
appreciate
the
that
real
so
shit.
much.
Right.
You told us at the time
Like real talk.
throwing cans at
Honestly.
you on stage.
And I want to say,
The honesty and the
it's a surreal moment for us. Like I said, we talk to a lot of new artists, new up and coming artists. We tell them often to research your craft, so that would bring them to you. Um, Truth be told, I remember, and this was so out of the box. Shout out to my middle school music teacher who made us research hip hop. We had a whole class. We had to go from the beginning up until that current time. I'm not gonna say how long ago that was, but but we had to do that. And yes, you guys came up. I mean, so to talk to you right now, it is a surreal moment, and I'm hoping that all of those who are watching can understand that a lot of these things do come full circle. I mean, here you are, you're producing music on a current show. So you're still influencing hip hop even now. And for those who, I feel sorry for those who choose not to research their past, not to understand how we got to this point in hip hop. I feel sorry for them because, kind of to touch on what you were saying before on how our music is used as a weapon. We're trying to get out of that. We need that knowledge. You need to know where everything started and who's influencing what, who's doing what. So thank you so much for all that you have done and contributed to our culture, because we know hip hop is a culture. It's just not a type of music. So I thank you so much for all that you have done.
D3, you stole the Charlie Murphy. You got something to say?
No, just piggyback off of what everyone said. You know, appreciate you dropping the knowledge and giving us the real. You know, giving our audience the real. You know, you are a legend in the game, taking the time out and spitting some good knowledge and giving some good stories that I wasn't expecting. And just telling about you, you know, the journey that you're going through and have gone through. You know, now you, like I said, working on the book and, you know, advancing in everything that you're doing, not just the rap game, but, you know, all in all, producing and writing a book, just showing folks that, you know, you have to have multi streams of, you know, revenue coming in to survive in this game, no matter who you are, no matter what things you've done. You have to keep on growing as a person, as an artist. And hats off to you for continuing your journey, and good luck on your book, and we'll definitely be looking out for it.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you know, the bottom line is we are all we got.
Mhm.
It is our absolute duty.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And you know, the bottom line is we are all we got, and it is our absolute duty to inspire and motivate each other. So, you know, we help
Bad or indifferent,
birth
we
it
made it to
and
this
bring it to
point.
the forefront.
So now,
And now here we are,
figure
you
out
know,
how
40 plus years later.
to successfully
And so, good,
turn
bad, or indifferent, we made it to this point. And so now, you know, we just have to figure out how to successfully
So
Say that
before,
all the
before
time.
we let you go,
turn
I have to know
the tides.
what is your
You know,
best hip hop
it's not
moment?
going to go back to what it was, but we can make it better than what it is.
Yes.
So before we let you go, I have to know what is your best hip hop moment?
My best hip hop moment.
Yes.
Okay, so now let me just be clear about something that I don't think the audience
Yes.
and maybe you guys maybe not might not be aware of. So okay, so we know that hip hop is a culture,
Yes.
and so rap music is just one facet of the hip hop culture. So now when you ask me what's my most notable or what's my favorite hip hop moment, so hip hop was prior to the embracing of rap music by the music industry. What's going on is not hip hop, it's just rap music.
Now
So
you put me on the
He
spot.
flipped it on
back
you.
to the question.
Let's go with your favorite rap.
My favorite hip hop moment or my
So my
favorite
favorite
rap
rap
moment?
moment, one time my group and I
Now you put me on the spot. Uh, let's go with your favorite rap.
Okay, so my favorite rap moment. Um,
award ceremony,
one time my group
urban
and I
contemporary,
were at a club
and
in New York
the
City
president
called
of
the
our
Savoy,
record company at the time, Cindy
and
Robinson,
it was an award ceremony. It was called the Urban
she made us
Contemporary
go
Awards,
to this
and
to
the
this award
president of our
ceremony.
record company at the time, Sylvia
So when we
Robinson
got
from
there,
Sugar Hill Records,
um,
uh, yeah, she
it turned out to
she
be
made us
actually
go
star-studded event.
to this award
And
ceremony.
so
We didn't want to go.
I'm walking around
So when we got there,
in the mezzanine
um,
area of this
it turned out to be an absolute star-studded event,
and
right?
I don't
And
know.
so I'm
The
walking around
legendary Luther
in the
Vandross
mezzanine
and the legendary
area of
Quincy Jones
this club called the
run
Savoy,
up to me,
and
excited.
out of
He
nowhere,
was like, oh my
the
God,
legendary Luther
take a
Vandross
picture with me.
and the
You're one of the
legendary
members of
Quincy
Grandmaster
Jones
Flash and the Furious Five. And I was
run
like,
up
yo,
to me
get out of here. Y'all must
excitedly.
be kidding.
And when
Can I
I say,
take a picture with
oh my
y'all?
God,
Right.
What?
can we take a picture
You
with
know what I
you?
mean? Like,
You're one
yeah.
of the members
Like,
of
that was
Grandmaster
a
Flash
surreal
and the
moment.
Furious Five. And I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
get out of here. Y'all
And
must be kidding me.
one
Can I take
more
a
short
picture with
moment.
y'all? Like, what?
Um,
Like, You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like that was a surreal moment for me.
We are about to do Soul Train.
And oh, one more short one. Um, so I see we're in LA and we are about to do Soul Train. And so I'm waiting for the limousine to pick us up. We're staying at a hotel, the Hyatt Regency, and it's on Sunset Strip. And so I'm standing in front of the hotel waiting for the rest of the group to come downstairs, and I'm dressed in my full, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 show regalia. You know what I mean? So I'm standing there, and this brown and beige Rolls Royce pulls up to the light right in front of the hotel. And it stopped at the light, and I look at the driver, and the driver is a black man, and he looked extremely familiar to me. So I took off running. So I chased this Rolls Royce for like 2.5, almost 3 blocks. He sees me out his side mirror,
Wow.
and he pulls over. And when he gets out, it was exactly who I thought it was. It was the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
Stop. Whoa.
Yeah, it was, he got out and kicked it with me, and the rest of the members of my group saw it from like 3 blocks away, and they came running down there. He was like, "Oh my God, y'all pretty just like me."
Yeah, I'm glad you hold your composure. I might not have been any good
It was
in
everything.
either one of those
I'm
moments.
getting goosebumps just talking about it right now.
That I couldn't even remember the man's name. All I called him the whole time.
So I held my composure, but I was so
You got something
excited
out.
that I couldn't even remember the
I
man.
might not even heard that. I ain't gonna lie.
All I called him the whole time was the greatest. You the greatest. Word.
So do you have any other projects coming out besides the book?
I might not even
Right.
heard that. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
So do you have any other projects coming out besides the book?
I am working on some new music, solo project. I'm not sure exactly, I don't have a release date or anything like that. I'm kind of just going off of my own internal vibe, and when I'm in a good space and I think it's a good time to release something, then I will. And I'm hoping that I feel that way in the not so distant future, like sometime this year. And I'm working on a couple of other things that will help increase my residual income streams. I am actively involved in buying, selling, and trading NFTs and cryptocurrency.
Okay.
I am, pretty literate as far as, cryptocurrency, buying, selling, and trading, and NFTs. I just partnered up with a tech company called Think Tank, and we are embarking on buying, selling, and trading NFTs, and
I'm developing
cannabis industry together.
game show.
And
It's a little comedic.
I have I'm developing a hip hop game show, hip hop trivia game show, with a little comedic twist, and I'm also promoting, putting on some concerts that will eventually
So you just don't
become
plan on sleeping?
a residency in Las Vegas. The newest, most expensive casino in Las Vegas called Resort.
Oh yeah.
You just don't play no sleep. You up for those?
Nah, you know,
Definitely.
look, ain't no sleep till Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
And I'm from the Bronx, so you know what I mean? Like,
more out of
nah, you know, just I'm just very
culture.
focused on, you know, getting
What
more
do you-
out of
You definitely
the
did.
music, you know, and the culture, because I felt
Definitely
like
did. Do you have any social media that people can contact you on or anything?
I didn't collect.
Yeah,
You
You
definitely.
know, I didn't collect
go to
music,
Instagram,
but I put in. Yeah, thank you.
it's Raheem
Definitely did. Do you have any social media that people can contact you on or anything?
official.
Yeah. If you go to Instagram, it's Raheem RAHIEM.official, and
We
I mean, I'm on
definitely want
a
to
few
follow
other
you.
social
Definitely
media
want to.
platforms, but if you
Thank you for this
if you
interview.
follow
man.
me on
This-
Instagram,
I was so excited to do this interview.
you know,
And
you can connect
I'm
with
gonna
me
highlight my
on the
day.
other ones as well.
Well, we
It's
definitely
very,
want. We
very
definitely
few
want to
times I
follow
get
you.
lost for words. I don't even start to
Thank you for
ask
this
the first
interview, man.
question. Like, I was so
I was so excited
excited.
to do this interview.
Thank you
and
so much.
And then I highlighted my day.
Shout out to Songbird for
It's
setting
very,
this up.
very few times I get lost for words.
We
I don't
appreciate
even
you,
start
man.
to ask the
We
first
love the
question.
story,
Like, I was
everything.
so
We're
excited.
gonna support. I'm definitely
Thank you so
gonna get
much.
the book when it comes out in September.
Yes.
Shout out to
You know,
Songbird for setting this
you
up.
know, anytime you want to update us on your
Appreciate you, man.
progress,
We love the stories,
we
everything.
have fans. We have
Support.
fans.
I'm definitely going to get the book when it comes out in September.
I appreciate
You
y'all.
know, and
For sure.
All right, man. Have a good night.
update us on your progress. Gives me more. You know, we don't really have fans. We have family.
You missed this shit.
That's what's up. I appreciate y'all.
You can
Much
run
love.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm gonna do a quick video break, and then we'll be back.
Now we gotta thank you real quick.
You should.
Cause we got
Oh yeah.
I'm about to punish me some of that shit.
Shout out to Don. Yeah, she only sent the interview over there. She sent us some pizza.
I know, thank you. We adore you. You don't know
And
how you
supports the
sing.
show.
I do appreciate it.
Shout out to Don. Yeah, she sent
Well,
the
you
interview
said
over
we
there.
got family, so I guess, you know, that's our family right there.
You know, and she supports the show, and
So we definitely,
know,
thank you.
you got her.
This is supposed to be video.
Well, you said we got family, so I guess
What you want to hear?
Yeah.
that's our family right there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a cheat.
So we definitely just a thank you. Let's play some videos.
Man, oh, man.
What you want to hear? You know, I'm a cheat. I'm always play Renegade.
Yeah. Crack my neck.
Oh my God. Ew. You ain't hear that? You could have heard that.
Put your face on.
No, because he was sitting there and he was, I saw him going like this and then I heard, I was like,
I was down, now I'm really about to go get up. 10 rounds, now that nigga can't get up. That's what you get when you go fuck with the vision. Now I'ma get up. My money be piling, we don't do the
by
vision.
his,
The feds be watching, I just gotta get up.
R-A-H-E-I-M. I thought he said got official.
I was just down, now I'ma get up.
Find that.
Sleeping on me, I bet that they get up. My money was low, but now I'ma get up. Bet that we get up. Pushing this weight, I'm doing sit-ups. I was just dirty, now I got my fit up.
It's not
For
left.
these bitches, I bet they gon' miss us. And I pack a bag if you think that I'm trippin'. I keep this shit brace like I'm sippin' Lipton. Yeah. Even though niggas don't know what to get on. You ain't shit.
Oh, well, I don't have no paper plates. I see a whole bunch of paper plates over there. Both. Can you hand me a paper plate, please? Because you know, y'all deserve.
You lady. I'm a man. I can
I don't understand these niggas that just always talking about, yeah, they pass ways. I don't understand these bitches always comparing me to their past days. I give a fuck about you. You give a fuck about me. I just be rapping for money. You be rapping for free. They like that I rap like a god. The reason they call me a G. I'm against all of these odds. Niggas ain't fucking with me. Never know worries of Kuna Matata. They say that I'm hot as the devil with Prada. I'm Soulja Boy first and these niggas gon' follow. Catching those feelings, you catching these hollows. Raul Rodriguez like I fuck with Rollo. Ain't got no time when I see this bravado. Bet that bitch shine like I'm in Monte Carlo. Looking at me like I done hit the lotto. Tell me your last day, get hit up. Talking that trash, Shay on Twitter. Your bitch, she be bad, yeah, I'm with her. When she see me, her face be lit up. Boy, better go ahead and mind your business. I don't go back and forth like tenor. Run this game, I don't get no finna. But we about to get up. 10 rounds, and that nigga can't get up. That's what you get when you go fuck with the vision. Sleeping on money, be piling, we don't do division. The feds be watching, I just gotta get up. I was just down, now I'ma get up. Sleeping on me, I bet that they get up. My money was low, but now I'ma get up.
I expected some crazy stories, but I did want the juicy gossip. That's why I asked that question. I did not, but he definitely came through. He said I was right there when he slapped him. I said, oh.
You got that first question, like, you forget the meat and potatoes of it.
I'm just going to head immediately.
What's that supposed to mean? Rock me, make it show to me.
That's why I didn't play no music. So me.
They buying guns, taking pics.
You talking the concert shit, and I play this shit.
That's that special week. Legit the plug, break it down. You won't follow me. Way before the polls and the violence shit was TLP. And stop speaking on my name.
You should have played one of our little concerts.
Physically, I'm straight. I blow the bitch fundamentally.
Physically, you ain't want no
you ain't got no bread. Why you hating? That's a penalty. I ain't got no guard.
Why you scared?
I'm grabbing me. Instead of we the trans, got the bands, bacon ride with me. One hand on the wood, I'm not put on.
But you drank the one I had with the whiskey.
Gonna switch sides, you ain't from over there. Why you start throwing the hood up?
Well, I was just talking about
Just be nice out my door. You clean when I hit from the side. Strip low, so don't like when I grow up. Ain't dumb, fuck with us. Throwing the towel on. Give up, taking pics.
and I wasn't sure if once I won to still drink. I believe, you know. So that's why I bought the wine.
I probably die before they catch me. Shouldn't have made it home. I thank the Lord. See them.
Y'all know why I did it.
Teed up in my zone, really busting off this turkey. Thought I had it thrown around, popping out with Smokey. That's my brother, ain't no
Oh, we need to
game.
drink one.
See them talking, better listen up close. And these goofies artificial, walking up like they know me. I ain't too much for the chat.
Matter of fact, next time,
Show.
that's what I'm gonna
Niggas
do.
thinking that they packing till
Before I
I switch
open
to
the
the
coffee, I'm gonna pour some in the cup.
Find this money, I just touch me and dub. Remember all we had was hope, now I'm fresher than dub. Remember holding up that pole, body loving the rush. We just packaged up the soul, left that boy in the Dutch. 10, let me chill off the Remy, I'm wild. But I'm aiming for a kill, nigga, reach for my diamonds.
Did you see footage of that tornado in Kansas?
You not ready
That's
for
like
that drill, wait on point.
They buying guns, taking pics. What's that supposed to mean? You ain't duck the smoke, lace that blunt. That's that special weed. We legit the plug, break it down. You won't follow me. Way before the polls and the violence shit was TLP.
Mafia. 10 shot.
It was on Friday.
Double M Visions.
Damn, man.
That's right, mean. Look at this tornado.
Ay, let's go. Beat summoning.
Oh, it's gonna come back around.
Let's go. When I'm in the booth, I tell no lies. Don't point me to that beat because them guys ain't one of mine. You see that killing in my eyes. Tell that pussy come outside.
That ain't nothing but a 3.
He was raised to run a high. Let's go. When I see my eyes, I'm talking, we
I don't want to see nothing about that.
Remember Twister? Yeah. Remember they had a 5 on Twister.
I've been in one close to it. I was in Boy Scouts.
We had them here too.
In Virginia. It was during the summer camp. It was on the side of the mountain. Joint came out of nowhere.
He's going wild now.
Let's go. Pissed off, my nigga, I might overreact. I pop a bean, we fuck for hours, and that's run back to bed. I eat that pussy, I'm free nasty, watch me kiss up a bed. I pop her, she talk to
And that's trying to go all the way up. You can see it out
make
there.
sure she ate, that's how you get your respect. I like the hunch, we like the fuck, I think I love having sex. Fuck on your bitch, that's on my man, and I still fuck with my ex. And I ain't waiting on your cousin.
When I asked my first question, 2-3 over here.
That's my question.
Oh, really?
That's my question.
No stress, don't trust no nigga, trust no bitches, get that shit out my chest. I fuck them bro girl and his girl know why niggas is pressed.
My bad.
I don't even know why you mad, you ain't the first one. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this shit, we been doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So don't get mad at me. I hate the guy, hate the play. They call me freak, nasty. Some call me zaddy. I don't do no talking, tryna fuck, send me the head. I don't do no talking, that my business, please don't add it. She ain't freaking from me, play with that pussy, spraying her ass cheek. Baby got a figure and stem to think she an athlete. Bitches here about me, hating, wishing that they had me. Used to fall in love with these hoes, that wasn't past me. Used to fall in love with these hoes, that wasn't past. Ay, when I'm in the booth, I tell no lies. Don't point me to that beat because them guys ain't one of mine. You see that killing in my eyes, tell that pussy come outside. Ay, he was raised to running high. Let's go, let's go, let's go. When I see my eyes, there's no talking, we gon' collide. Yeah, I fuck this being me tripping, fucked up his pride. He said he gon' kill me, shrug my shoulders, then I nod. Ask the last nigga that tried. Yeah, you can't cause he with God.
Damn, Matt. This one's too hard.
Bow your head and pray. You wanna talk to him? Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. Beat Sim in this bitch, we turn, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I like this type of interview.
Yeah, very informative.
Man.
It's not just it's informative. You get an opportunity to
I like
talk
them
to
type of
someone
interviews.
that you learned about, heard, who may have influenced you, who influenced the entire an entire genre of music. You know,
I mean, it's they don't get me wrong. I love talking to other time. But it ain't every day that you get to talk to a little legend.
a founder.
Yeah, and we're not using legend loosely.
It don't get me
No.
wrong. I love talking
Some of
to
these people be
other
like, "Oh
comics,
yeah,
but it
I'm
ain't
a
every
good
day that
legend.
you
I'm a
get to
good."
talk to a
No, it's an
legend.
actual legend.
And even people
and-
who were
Yeah,
like
and we're not using
closer
legend
to
loosely.
our
Like
age.
some of these people be like, "Oh
you
yeah, I'm a
know,
hood legend. I'm a this."
we
No,
can
it's an
say they're
actual
legends all day, but
Yeah.
this is
This is a legend.
this is a founder legend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is one of the reasons why I fell in love with hip hop. Like listening to the message, and you know,
And white lines.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah,
y'all need
this
to
is a
listen to that
legend,
now.
right?
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be shady.
This is one of the reasons why
I'm
I
just
fell in
being
love with
real.
hip-hop. Like,
Some of
listening
y'all
to the
need to listen
message
to some of
and,
this.
You know,
And when you
Yeah,
look at
right.
different genres of music to talk to a
Absolutely.
founder of that genre, most of
I am.
all these other genres, you know, a lot of people are gone. You know, you don't get an opportunity to interview them. Like rock and roll is old, country is old. We can't talk to the people who originated that, but we can talk to people who
That's true.
directly influence rap and hip hop. So.
and I love the fact that you know you were hip hop and rap is good.
Mhm.
So what you do, hip hop is the culture.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that you know he brought up hip
Like
hop
he
and rap
was
is different.
in
You know, rap is
probably
something what you do. Hip hop is
chapter,
the
well,
culture.
lesson 2
Um,
of the hip hop
Man, it was amazing.
and
I ain't
rap
gonna lie.
portion of my teacher's class. because the first one they went back to Africa to the roots, the storytellers and everything. And then when we got to what we know as modern day rap and the hip hop culture, where do you start? Well, yeah,
You know,
we just got off the interview.
especially it's, working class everywhere. I mean that beat, and then when Puffy and Mace did it, and for those who think that's a Puffy and Mace beat,
especially
that's
working class everywhere. I mean that beat, and then when
the
Puffy and
message
Mace did it, and
is so
for
iconic.
those who think that's a Puffy and Mace beat,
I had to learn. That was part of our class. We had to learn the words.
that song, the message.
And the thing about it is, when you're singing it
so
as a kid, it's cool.
Yeah.
But then when you understand what they're talking about as an adult,
yeah, it's different.
And the
It's
thing
different.
about it,
hits a
when
lot
you're singing
different.
it as a
They
kid,
were way ahead of their time.
You're like, huh?
it's cool.
And
But then when
they
you
are
understand what they're talking about,
the
as an
original
adult,
purpose of
it's
rap.
it hits a lot
It
different.
was conscious.
They were way ahead of their time.
Everything was. It was no doubt about that. They was just rhyming. They may have called it that, but
Yeah.
I mean,
they weren't just making up words and just saying, "Oh, this goes with this." No, they were talking about it.
As a kid, you push somebody in the street like, "Don't push me so close to the edge." And then when you actually understood what that actually meant,
It was Happy Feet. Come on. You know how many kids
as a kid,
were influenced by
push
Happy
somebody in the
Feet?
street like, "Don't push me so close
And
to the
Happy
edge."
Feet did what?
And then
They
when you
quoted.
actually
Like, you know what I
understood
mean?
what
That's a
that
big,
actually meant,
that's a big
then
thing.
it's
that
serious.
record too. It's like one of the most quotable records of all time.
Happy Feet was a good movie.
What
What, man? Happy Feet
He
was
said
a
Happy
good
Feet
movie.
was a good movie.
I see Happy
Oh,
Feet.
shit.
Yeah, man.
That record
Yeah, man. I mean,
Did you see the
Watch
second
it.
one?
I
You know there was a
Nah,
second
I know.
one.
I meant to check out the second one. I ain't check out the second one.
Did
yet.
you clean your gun while you was watching Happy Feet?
Nah, I was waiting for Shawty daughter to go to sleep.
Did you have
And
your
you was
gun out when
into
you
it.
watched
Yeah, that shit was alright.
Did you
It'll do
smash
the
your
thing.
mom
Of
while you
course.
was watching Happy
No,
Feet?
I let her go to sleep first.
Did you clean your
No,
gun
but the movie still
while you
was
was watching
smashed.
Happy Feet?
Oh yeah, she fell asleep like halfway through.
I
Yeah,
think it was the feet thing, wasn't it?
probably.
That's why you was into it.
Yeah, they
Smash
little
your
Happy
mom,
Feet.
smash
Did you
your
get?
mom, Happy Feet.
Went to the bedroom, left her
No,
on the
because
couch.
he,
No,
you
with the
know,
movie
his
someone when you
nickname
smashed
it.
it.
I met him as, and then
Hey,
you got
man.
Happy
Hey.
Feet. Yeah.
That little dude was kicking it, man. That little nigga was
Did
kidding,
you smash on the couch or did you take
tearing
it
it up in the club.
He probably would, and then he was an underdog. That's
Yeah.
probably another thing.
Always doubting
He
him,
always
man.
with the underdog.
Yeah, man. Underestimating little dude.
So CP3, what you got for us in sports?
Oh man, we had a wild week of sports. We had the NFL draft just finished up yesterday. Washington Commanders inaugural draft for the new franchise name and everything. And as always, Commander Nation is split. Some of them delusional, some of them crazy. It's just split.
Wait.
That's the split.
You can't say delusional or crazy. Everybody's not that way. Aren't you a fan? Which one are you?
Yes, I'm
Which
crazy.
one? Are you delusional? You're
I'm crazy, yeah. I'm
Okay, what
crazy.
about me?
You a little bit of both.
I'm delusional. too?
Delusional and crazy.
How am I delusional?
It's because you are who you are. Ain't got nothing to do with football.
He said he ain't even about football. I can't stand it. I told y'all he picked on me.
Nah, I'm just stating truths.
Whatever.
Yeah. But they had the inaugural draft, and I have monikered a new name for some of the fans.
What would that name be?
They are no longer the Gloom and Doom fans. They are now called the Commander Karens, because they complain about every damn thing no matter what goes on with this team. So yeah, a couple of people got upset, but if you get upset at the name, that means you must identify with it. So I'm working on getting the trademark and patented. I might have a cartoon or something coming out with it too. I'm serious, because some of these fans. All right, let me get back to the draft. Like I said, that's for another show.
I got you.
The first pick of the Washington Commanders, wide receiver Johan Dotson, out of Penn State. He's a playmaker. He's a little small. That's what his major concern was. They saying that there was a reach with him being taken as high as Washington took him. I don't care what their so-called reach is. If you give Terry McLaurin another weapon, along with Carson Wentz, give him another target. Hopefully that'll be something to help get Terry seated there, getting him help. And on the offense, they've been, drafted for the defense so much lately. So hopefully, that helps get Terry signed because he's looking to be around between 22 and 24 million a year with a new contract he's about to get with the wide receiver free agency market blowing up like he did this past off season. The second pick of the draft was Fidarian Mathis, defensive tackle out of Alabama. A lot of folks are upset about the pick because they say, we had Deron Payne, and why would you let Ioannidis go and Tim Settle go to Buffalo and draft another lineman, and they say they should have been a third-round pick, but he's a second-round pick. All right, folks, let me educate you real quick. Deron Payne is not resigning. They already announced that. I don't know why the DC sports media let that go because he could have been trade bait, but now everybody knows he won't be resigning, so we probably won't get nothing for him. Tim Settle decided to go to Buffalo because he'd get more playing time. Matt Ioannidis was a salary cap casualty after they signed Carson Wentz with his contract to help to absorb it. So, therefore, the defense is the core of the team, and the defensive line is the core of the defense. So, you want to retool. So, if you look at it from a financial standpoint, Deron Payne is making, I believe, $8 million this year. He walks, you have a third-round pick that can fill in and take his place on the line, who is only going to make probably $600,000 to $700,000. And you have to clear money for Terry McLaurin to get his contract done. So do you see how it all links together?
It's about money.
Exactly. It's a business. They have first rounders all on the line. They're not going to be able to resign all of them just because of the salary cap. So some of the players are going to not be here. You still got to re-sign Chase, Montez Sweat, Terry McLaurin. Need I say more? Third round pick. Brian Robinson Jr. out of Alabama, running back. This dude, he runs angry. I was watching tape on him. He reminds me of Derrick Henry, a smaller version, but it's physical and breakaway speed. Once he breaks those tackles and get in the open field, he's gone. And that's going to, definitely. That's going to definitely help Antonio Gibson. Going to push him also. It's a crowded backfield now. They still have Jared Patterson, and they re-signed John Williams from the practice squad. They re-signed him. So there's going to be a lot of competition, and I believe, he's definitely going to, I feel, make the squad and be a contributor to the backfield because, he runs angry. Fourth pick, safety, Percy Butler. Anybody named Percy, they cool.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, everybody I done met named Percy been a cool motherfucker. Safety out of Louisiana. He's more of a free safety, which this team has been looking for a while. He's also can play a hybrid position like Landon Collins was, but for not the high price tag. He's very versatile. He's a sure tackler. Can play special teams also, and it'd be interesting to see him filling in with Bobby McCain and Cam Curl out there with the versatility of these defensive backs. I'm hoping that that's a good sign going into next year with Del Rio and his play calling, that we'll see more, things disguised and see more creativity and some of the crazy blitzes we used to see from him, pretty much before he got here, because I haven't seen any of those blitzes we used to see in Jacksonville and Oakland when he was coaching those teams. So I'm hopeful that that's a sign, because that's the only issue I had with Coach Ron retaining him and not even questioning bringing somebody else in or even taking over some of the duties himself, because I'm just not happy with his game plan decisions, pressure with 4, playing zone. When you sign the number 1 man cover corner in the league and you make him play zone, then everybody's talking about he's a waste. Then you go to playing man and he shines like the player we thought he was going to do. So I don't know, but that's why I'm on the outside, on the inside. I'm just hoping they thinking about that going into the next season. Fifth round pick is considered the steal of the draft, for not only for the team, but the steal of the draft totally. Quarterback Sam Howell out of North Carolina, University of North Carolina. He was a top, he was a top prospect, looking to be top draft pick in 2020, but unfortunately 3 of his wide receivers and 2 of his running backs got drafted to the NFL. So he had a bunch of inexperienced players he played with this past year, so his stock fell. No one expected him to drop to the 5th round, but it was a perfect pickup for Washington. He's reminds me of a stronger arm Taylor Heineke, honestly. He very mobile, athletic, can buy time with his feet, Also can throw from the pocket. Look like he already has a foundation of being able to read defenses, being with the pro style offense he played with those dynamic receivers that he had. One of which is Diami Brown, who the Washington drafted the year before. So you know they'll be throwing the ball around after practice, hopefully improving both of them, making them better players, because we definitely could use Diami Brown, because with the speed that we have now, with the new draft acquisitions and the players we already have, if Wentz get them ball in open space and the blocking holds up, they can take it to the house from anywhere on the field. The second, 5th round pick, Cole Turner, tight end out of Nevada. This guy 6'6", so you can automatically say red zone target. Partnered up with Logan Thomas, who's I believe 6'4". He's athletic, has a great wingspan and catch radius. He catches pretty much anything that's comes his way. He's not real big on breaking tackles or getting away from defenders, but he's sure-handed. Once they throw the ball his way, he's going to catch it. And that'll be interesting with the 2 tight end set down in the red zone with Logan Thomas and with him, and Gibson out the backfield and the wide receivers that we have. So that's been an issue with the Washington football team, getting into the red zone, not getting there, but actually getting to the end zone and not being held to field goal. So he's definitely going to help in that aspect. He's still a little raw. Like I said, his blocking is going to need some work, but he's definitely going to be a good target in the red zone. They have John Bates, who they drafted last year, who was more of a blocker. He made some plays in the passing game last year, but this guy, Cole Turner, is definitely more athletic and more upside in the passing game. 7th round pick, because they didn't have a 6th round pick, was Chris Paul out of Tulsa. No, not the basketball player. No, not the comedian. The offensive lineman out of Tulsa. He's very versatile, can play tackle. He's played, I think I saw it said he had 14 starts at tackle, 12 starts at guard, and a guard at every position on the line pretty much except for center. So we know that that's a trademark of Coach Rivera's mentality of having linemen that are versatile along with players that are versatile. They can fill in multiple roles. And despite all the DC sports media and these Commander Karens, the offensive line is not as bad as y'all seem to believe. They were ranked number 6 according to PFS, Pro Football Focus, who grades every position of every NFL team in the NFL. And remember, we had injuries all across the line last year, and they still held up. So we don't need as much help on offensive line as some of you guys think. So it ain't even like that.
The tone changed.
Because I've been saying this over and over again. So I got to reiterate it on the air.
You about to flip.
I've been typing it. Now it's time for me to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had to. Because this is the point. Because this is the point I've been making over and over.
Let's like to say.
Because I've been repeating it, and folks just, even when I posted on their comments, I even posted the article with the stats in there, and they won't read it. And they just continue talking. Let's say continue just being ignorant. I'll leave it alone.
Not about to read that article.
That's why I gotta address them on there, because they don't read. So I know if they tune it in, they can at least hear it. I know they're gonna turn, but you know who I'm talking to. And the last pick of the 2022 draft for the Washington Commanders is defensive back Christian Holmes out of Oklahoma State. This kid is physical, 6 foot, long arms, not afraid to come up on a run. Had, I believe, 17 pass defense in his senior year. He's definitely going to be an attribute on special teams, and he's going to push for the, backup spot, because, you still have St. Juice from last year and a couple of other young players that they drafted that didn't make it through the season that is going to be, we don't know what they can do. So everyone was saying, we should have drafted defensive back earlier. Well, we got talent there. We don't even know what they are yet. So why would you spend a first round and second round pick on a position that might already be filled once you get the players on the field? So, but we'll break that down more. I'll talk about that more tomorrow night on Sports and Health Podcast, giving more of my draft grades and critiques of these players. You can go check out my YouTube channel, Carol Porter III. Did a highlight clip on all of them. The longest one is about 2 minutes long. I didn't want to do too much. Some folks got 10 and 12-minute videos out there already. I do it all myself, so I ain't had time to do all that. I shut it down about 2 minutes, throw some music on and call it a day. So you can check those out. Also, we have NHL playoffs about to start tomorrow. Capitals once again in for the 8th year in a row.
Yay.
They're the 8th seed going up against Florida, the number 1 seed. They didn't end the season strongly as we hoped, but Ovi missed all 3 games precautionary after that trip that should have been called and fined. It wasn't into the boards. It was precautionary. I just saw a report. He said he could have played if he, if it was major. They could have moved up in position, but they're the best road team in the league, so they are going up against Florida, who one of the best home teams and comeback teams in the league. They were 1-1 against Florida. Both of the games that they lost, Florida came back. They had a lead on them and weren't able to hold it. That's really my only concern with this team. Capitals called up another goalie for Carly, who actually had a shutout in his first NHL game. So you're allowed to carry 3 goalies in the playoffs, and maybe we're going into the 3-headed monster because nobody really stood up and took control of the position. I've been an advocate of Double V. Sammy's shown flashes of, being that guy. And for Carly, he was just down there with the Hershey Bears in their playoff run. I'm not sure if they won it all or not. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow, too, on the show. We have NBA playoffs underway. We just had the first round of the Eastern Conference semifinals and the Western Conference semifinals just finished up a little while ago. First game of the day was Milwaukee defeating Boston 101-89 to take a 1-0 lead in that series. And Golden State edged out Memphis at home after Draymond Green got ejected for what they say was a flagrant 2 foul, but I saw it. This is why I don't watch the NBA, because back in the 90s, that wouldn't even been called a foul, let alone a flagrant 2, and you get ejected.
But Draymond, he tends to play dirty, so
I mean, I get it.
They're gonna make that.
I mean, it would have been a foul, but not a flagrant. It wouldn't have been a flagrant, and not a flagrant 2 to get thrown out the game.
Pretty tough, and I feel like that's why they're doing that. Not to say that it's right.
That's what I mean. They're soft, man. If you're physical, you get penalized.
I mean,
Memphis got some big boys in that front line.
It's not supposed to be a full contact sport.
Yeah, he called it dirty, but you heard the way they broke it down. It was like he with the hit to the face, and then he grabbed him to the jersey and threw him to the ground like it was like he just RKO'd him or something. I'm like, dog.
Draymond does tend to.
I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that he's done, but in that instance, it wasn't. To me, it didn't warrant being ejected from the game.
I don't think she got ejected from the game, but it was clearly a foul.
I mean, it was a foul. I just don't think it was a flagrant.
I mean, he a dirty player, so I can't feel so sorry for him.
But the final score, Golden State still found a way to win, 117-116. Klay Thompson hit the game-winning bucket. The Golden State has a 1-0 lead in that series. Tomorrow night, you have Philly going against Miami in Miami with a 7:30 start. And then you have Dallas at Phoenix with a 10 o'clock start. And to round up the sports, the Nats just won the series against the San Francisco Giants with an impressive 11-5 victory. So now they sit at 8-16. Still got to get over that sweep to the Marlins at home. That's the first time that's happened since 2011. Yeah. But they've been on the road, and they've had having a problem scoring runs and with pitching. But in this series on the West Coast, they got both, and they won 2 out of 3. They go into Colorado next. That series starts on Tuesday.
And they were the underdogs, right?
Yeah, San Francisco is one of the hottest teams in the league right now. They just played the Nats at home and swept the Nats. I think the Nats won 1 of the 3 against. I think they did get swept. Yeah, because they won 1. That's the one game they won last week. So there was some contention in that series because the Giants were up big in one game late in the game, and they were still being aggressive on the base pads. And Alcides Escobar, in the 8th inning, kind of got a little upset. They were stealing bases and running aggressively. Benches cleared, nothing happened. Then San Francisco actually had some COVID issues that 9 of their players were in COVID protocol. So the first night, the Nats pretty much blew him out. There was a situation with Juan Soto and the pitcher where he was trying to quick pitch him, and Juan Soto asked for time the first time. The umpire gave it to him. Then he got to hit a home run off of him. Next time he asked for timeout. The ref didn't give it to him. And he ended up to a pop up out, and nothing really transpired. But it's crazy how early in the season it's already heated and got so much more baseball to go.
Juan embarrasses people.
Yeah, he does. That's my man. I just hope we got to re-sign him too, man.
That's why I understand why they did it, because you don't want to get embarrassed.
Yeah, I mean, the pitcher wasn't even really that mad. So, I mean, the pitcher, he the one that gave him kudos. He was like, I love watching him play. I just hate pitching against him.
Right,
So,
because he going to embarrass you.
yeah,
Like,
so, he was in a rhythm. He didn't necessarily think he was quick pitching, but it's a thin line. As soon as you step in the box, the ball is live, and David Martinez got involved, told Juan Soto, just keep your hand up in the box until you're ready. When you're ready to put your hand down, then, go forward. Like I said, they have a 3-game series going to Colorado, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday is an 8:40 p.m. start Eastern time, and Thursday is a 3:10 start. Then they go to Los Angeles to play the Angels and see good old friend Tony Two Bags, Anthony Rendon, who's out there in Los Angeles, that World Series championship team. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. Friday is a 9:38 start. I don't know what's up with that. Get somebody black calling a game. You gotta drop his kids off or something. I don't know.
Why you gotta be black?
Because 9:38. That's me and my folks. We had that running joke like, I meet you at the stadium at like 9:37, dog. I'll be there at 9:37. Because nigga can't be on time at 9:30.
GPS says.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nigga can't be on time. Yeah, he's supposed to be there at 9:30. Like, I'll be there at 9:38, dog. I'll be there at 9:38. It's just the GPS fault. Then Saturday it's a 9:07 start. Obviously the GPS still ain't working. And then Sunday it's a 4:07 start. So they just interpreting some traffic and some things. But hopefully the Nats can continue playing well on the road and can get this record back to respectable. They're 8-16, bottom of the NL East. And I can't believe I'm about to say this.
Go ahead.
Fucking Mets are leading the division. They're playing one of the best teams in baseball and just combined for a no-hitter over the Phillies. We're in upside down world, y'all. They just had a combined no-hitter against the fucking New York Mets.
Say that again.
Real talk, I didn't think I would hear you say that either, because
I mean, all I'm gonna say is it's still early and they're still the Mets, so they're gonna find a way to fuck up. Yeah, and the fact that they got my boy Mad Max. A lot of times they're not even in the position to be talked about, pretty much. Yeah. So for them to be talked about, it's like who? Who said that?
I know people really used to hate the Mets.
Yes.
I would never forget this because I love the Mets more than the Yankees. And,
you wanted the few.
Well, I mean, Queens, so Shea Stadium wasn't that far from us.
Gotcha. But even still.
But I would never forget this because I love the Mets more.
Because if you want to really see a good game,
you go see the Yankees.
Thank you.
I mean, Queens, so Shea Stadium wasn't that far from us.
But I remember I was a little kid.
But my family never took us to see my
grandmother. And the man turned around. He said, "I like little kids."
So.
I hate the Mets.
I think you told him.
I remember that I was a little kid. I was on the bus with my grandmother, and the man turned around.
I was so proud of my Mets hat, and he just told me,
"I like little kids, but I hate the Mets."
Like you could have kept it. Well,
my
I mean,
grandmother
real
cussed
talk
that
people
man out.
They'll tell you, you got a cute baby.
I was so proud of my Mets hat, and he just turned around and blew me.
Wrong shirt, wrong color.
Don't get me wrong, because I probably do it to, if I see one of my relatives, they could be a baby and they got like a cowboy hat, I'll be like,
No, I'll tell them. That's why I said you had a cute baby. But
Don't get me wrong, because I probably do it to, If I see one of my relatives, they could be a baby and they got like a cowboy hat, I'll be like, we like this kid.
That's why I said stage can't do that.
You don't do that soccer stuff.
We ain't believe it like this.
No.
So Thursday I actually went to New Jersey.
Oh.
And I got an artist that I'm thinking about bringing on board. But we're going to see because
he's from Jersey, or you just want to
Jersey.
Okay.
So Thursday I actually went to New Jersey.
You don't want to say?
So just tell you about the Jersey.
I got an artist that I'm thinking about bringing on board.
We go to New York
see because
he's
from Jersey, or
he's from Jersey.
He was so deep in Jersey, it was fine.
Oh,
So
so you
let me
was
just tell you
like,
about the
He's in
Jersey trip
Clifton, New
first.
Jersey.
oh, I know what that is.
So
Yeah.
when
You,
we go to New
you're
York,
about the
it's
only
like 4
people,
hours.
person
No, well-
besides people in Clifton.
I've
We're
heard
so
of
deep in
it.
Jersey.
No, but I know quite a few people.
We was in Clifton, New Jersey.
There was an exit that said,
Yeah,
take this exit to the
You're
George
about
Washington
the only
Bridge.
people.
That's the
person
exit to
besides
go to
people
the
in
Bronx.
Clifton.
No, but I know.
Like that, we did.
That's extra north.
So
There was an exit that
we
said,
went there.
take this exit
They
to
had
the
some good
George
acts. They had
Washington
some good
Bridge.
acts.
Okay.
That's the exit we go to the Bronx.
If you go to a Shots by King
It's like, damn,
151,
we're deep.
you see some of the acts. And there's some,
So,
some
We
of them
went
on
there.
Facebook as well.
They had some good acts. They had some good acts.
There's a gentleman who we did Afrobeat, and I recorded.
If you go to a Shots by
He
Rakim
asked me to put the
151, you
performance
see
for
some of the
Southern
acts. And
Price. So I sent him
some
the
I put
link
on Facebook as well.
to YouTube to
There's a gentleman
to
who
show
he did
what I did.
Afrobeat, and I recorded him.
And then I was like, well,
He asked me to put the performance, we settled on the price. So I sent him the link
for your video.
to
So this
YouTube.
depends. He see, this is messing up the opportunity. If he doesn't pay me, he doesn't really realize.
And I was like, well, will you send me the rest of it? You
Yeah.
send me the money we agreed upon the cash app.
So,
I'll actually
it
we
could be a
transfer your
platform
video.
for you
So this is depends.
to
See,
basically
this is
expand your
messing up your
music
opportunity.
if you keep
If he
your word.
doesn't pay me, he doesn't really realize I'm a
But if
podcast.
you don't keep your word,
Because I never
it's no
told
big deal because I was going to.
So,
I was recording
It
anyway.
could be a platform for you to
I just
to
know I have your
basically
phone number. I have
expand
your
your
name.
music if
I
you
just
keep
know not
your
to do
word.
business with you, and I'll just probably put you on blast.
But if you don't keep your word,
Right.
it's no big deal because I was gonna I
I
would record
was
it anyway.
going to.
I just know
play the
I have your
video, so I
phone
have it on
number, I have
YouTube.
your name. I just know not to do business with you, and I'll just
Here.
probably put you on blast and delete your
Tonight,
videos off the air.
but I was like, no, I'm just gonna mark
You
the
know.
private.
Because I was
And granted, I
going
know
to
people get busy, so
play the video, so I have them on
I get
YouTube
to after the weekend. But, I don't get about like Monday
here,
or Tuesday. Get again deleted.
tonight. But I was like, nah, I'm just gonna mark them private. And
And
granted,
keep in mind,
I
I
know
shot the
people
shit
get
for
busy,
you.
so
Keep it.
I give them
keep
to
it
after
for
the
7
weekend.
days.
But
Make
if
that
I don't
your
get about like
standard
Monday or
thing, I
Tuesday,
guess.
it again deleted.
Okay, so
Look, the free
And keep in mind, I shot the shit in
a
4K.
lot of these free doorbell camera apps will keep stuff for 7 days.
okay.
You know, there you go. And then after that,
Okay, 7 days. We'll do
it's
7 days.
deleted because
Yeah,
you're
you
not
got
paying
4
for
days.
right. You're not paying for storage. So
A lot of
you
these
know,
doorbell camera
But,
apps stuff for 7 days.
Okay.
okay.
mhm.
If it works
So we got
out,
6 more days.
he agrees. I'll invite him to the show. And if he actually, he can call in, or if he actually wants to make that trip down here. He's an Afrobeat artist. I would love to have him come down here.
Yeah,
may
and
even-
you know
if it
I
works
would.
out,
I know.
He
That's what I was
agrees.
thinking. I may even, maybe knock the table over, put the table down, let him do a quick
Make that
performance.
trip down here. He's an Afrobeat artist.
One thing I would say
have him
is-
come down here. I may even.
This is the difference
I know.
between,
That's what I was
to me, a
thinking. I
hungry
may even,
artist
maybe knock
and,
the table, put the table down, let him do a quick
and an
performance.
artist who think they like that.
Um,
He's the only artist that
One
came
thing I
up
would
to
say
me and he
is-
saw what I was doing. And he
This
said,
is the
hey,
difference between
I see
to
you
me a hungry
recording. Can
artist
you record?
and
Could you record me?
Mhm.
And how much
and
would
an
you
artist who
charge?
think they like that.
Because he was about
He's
this-
the only
this-
artist that
this-
came up to me and he saw what I was doing.
A lot of
And he said,
artists,
hey,
you know,
I see you
no,
recording.
and I'm gonna
Can
tell you,
record,
not being
Can you record
braggadocious
me?
and stuff like that.
and how much
A lot
would
of
you
people
charge?
bring the cameras
Because
in
he
and
was
stuff
about
like
that.
that.
Because he-
So I had my stuff and when the back looked at my camera.
a lot
was
of
like,
artists, no. And I'm gonna
because
tell you,
it's not like
I'm not being
I'm
braggadocious
not
and
bringing
stuff
cheap
like that.
shit.
A lot of people bring the cameras in and stuff like that. So I had my stuff,
So
and when the
I
back
take
looked
pride
at
in
my
all my
camera, he
stuff.
was like,
So he saw what I was doing, saw
because
opportunity,
it's not like
and he, you know, he
I'm
asked.
not bringing cheap
That's
shit.
Mhm.
never hurts to ask.
Right.
So, and I take pride in all
I
that
will
stuff.
never.
So he saw what I
I'm
was
not in
doing.
the trap.
He saw
I
an
know
opportunity.
artists. I know plenty of artists in my own
You know,
city.
he asked.
So I ain't
That's
never
not-
chasing nobody. Hey, this,
Never hurts to ask.
this.
Mhm.
You see me working and you want to know what
I
I'm
will
doing,
never.
we
I'm
can
not
gladly
in the
have a
trap.
conversation.
I know
But if you
artists. I know
think
plenty
that
of
I
artists in my own
need to
city.
chase
So I ain't
you
never
to
chasing
find
nobody.
out
Hey,
what I do with the
this.
pictures and all
You
this
see me
other
working
stuff,
and you wanna
they
know
go on
what
my
I'm
private page.
We can
They
gladly
don't even
have
go on
a
the at the bar
conversation.
page. They actually,
But if you
they
think
might go
that
to
I
the bar page
need
if they're
to
artists.
chase
But most of the time they'll
to
go on
find out
shots by before my photography.
what I do with the pictures and all this other stuff,
But I'm taking
you go on my
this for personal
private
pleasure.
page.
I like to see people.
You don't even go on the
perform.
at
I
the
like
bar
to see,
page. They actually,
you know,
they might go on the at the bar page because they're
Yeah.
artists.
you
But
know,
most of the time they'll go
but
on
if you see me doing that,
shots
if
by
you want
before
your
my
picture and all this other
photography.
stuff, definitely, you know, contact
I'm
and
taking it for personal
shit
pleasure.
ain't
I like
free,
to see people
but you know,
perform. I
definitely
like to see,
contact and you know work
hey.
something out.
Mhm.
But, you know, it's cool.
But
But if you
I
see
will
me
never
doing that,
chase
and if you want
artists
your
to,
picture and all this
you
other
know,
stuff,
Mm-mm.
definitely
I don't
you know,
even chase liquor.
contact and shit ain't free, but definitely contact and we can work
Right,
something
right.
out.
No.
But I will never chase an artist.
But all, it was a good showcase.
I don't even chase liquor.
We got some dates coming up, so my birthday's June
My
2nd.
liver hurts now. But all it was a good
we're not gonna have a
showcase.
show on the third.
We got some dates coming
whatever,
up. So
because we're going to
my
Philly
birthday's
and
June
Jersey.
2nd.
So that's Saturday and that's Sunday. So
So we're not gonna have a show on the third, on the fourth, whatever, because we're going to Philly and Jersey. So that's Saturday and that's Sunday. So
by the 5th, no guarantee.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
I'm just gonna take off for 3 days. And hopefully by the 5th I'll be sober.
My birthday, I got a bottle of white.
No guarantee.
And then I just want to let y'all know, remind you guys and let everyone watching, I'm not going to be here.
It's my
this
birthday. I got a
upcoming
bottle of white
Sunday.
Henny with my name on it.
And it's Mother's Day.
Oh, it's gonna be. So, see, they'll be bringing strippers or what?
What? On Mother's Day?
I'll see
That's
what I can
supporting
do.
single moms.
Let me reach out to some of my connections.
Lady Anthony won't even be in the state, so make them text me.
I come back on Sunday, so I need y'all to understand that it depends on when I get back,
So
whether or not I pop up. Because you know how I
They
do.
won't even be in the state. So
I ain't scared.
make them texts now.
We can shoot from a remote location.
But y'all mobile bitches. We might pull up on you.
I'd like to welcome you to the show.
We can shoot from a remote location.
Stop, I'm being shady and messy. I'm being shady and messy. This is an inside joke. You have to be here for it.
Thank you for coming, because I didn't.
People invite me to my.
To your whole show.
I'm being shady and messy now.
That had to be the moment in 2021.
I'm trying to tell you.
She's about to make an example
I'm
of
letting y'all know these two could be in these predicaments sometimes.
At least I gave you the heads up.
Yeah.
So I'm about to go and tell I really just wanted you to walk into the
Some situations I feel like they know it's going south and they just wait for me
I wasn't going
to respond. And I just be like,
just wanted you to walk into the
She's thanking you for coming to your own show that you sit here every week with.
I'm sorry, y'all know it's bad when you got that blank expression, but you still have a smile on your face, and it's a blank smile. Like, for people who know you know it's not a genuine smile, and that something is really wrong. Everybody has that type of smile, or a chuckle. Or a chuckle.
She's about to, your man got her out of here just in time.
That shit be hilarious.
You cannot.
That shit is hilarious.
This one right here be plotting.
She was about to get passed around like a blunt.
I just sometimes I want to pop.
I'm just saying.
Like I keep telling him, like you one day. It went out for a second.
She don't want to be saved.
Consistently going.
She don't want to be saved.
Oh.
I thought the sage had worked.
She don't want to be saved.
Oh my God.
I swear.
I'm just saying, I've been in those situations before.
What situations?
But it was a young lady who was being very suggestive in what she was looking for, and the person she came with didn't pick up on those signals.
But you did.
Oh yeah, I'm very observant. I used to do security. I pick up on everything. They could just be looking.
So what you do?
I promise you.
But I be knowing.
Like it may not be much help for this one, but that's why
I don't need no help, man. I'm good, man. I've been to therapy and everything. I'm good.
You need to go back.
Oh, they had like a 10-year reunion or
They
something?
were with you and your therapist?
Yeah.
You need it. They not finished.
Yeah, it might have relapsed a little bit.
You would get them.
Right.
Might have relapsed a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
coming back? Oh, you know what? I gotta recommend you to somebody else.
Hey,
I quit.
Right.
hey, man, they
They don't get
got.
paid enough. They get paid big money.
Yeah, they got to earn that money. Damn right.
No, they say they don't get paid
Come on,
enough.
my insurance and shit.
So,
You know how much my
what you got
deductible?
going on Monday, CP3?
Monday it'll be myself and Robbie covering the Capitals and their their 0-3 week going into the playoffs. We'll be breaking that down, recapping the game and breaking down the matchup with the Panthers. Then we'll break down the 3-3 week for the Nationals. Look forward to the upcoming week. Then Robbie and the NBA Roundtable will be breaking down the playoff matchups, the series enders in the first round, and preview the second round, and give the updates on the semifinal matchups that'll be playing tomorrow. And I'll be talking a little Washington Commanders also. Might even go over some USFL and some Mystics, because the Washington Mystics are back in action. I believe they won their first game. I'm not sure if it's preseason or regular season yet. I haven't had a chance to really check it out.
So how was that USFL though? You liking it? It's bullshit?
It's a good product. They give you, it's kind of like the XFL was, where they give you the up close and personal. So sometimes you do hear some stuff that you really shouldn't hear, but they do have some good angles. They actually have a helmet cam with the running back, so you can see it from his perspective when he's running the ball. They have a unique cam when they punt the ball. Normally you just see it from the field view, but they actually have a view from the aerial with the ball like coming towards you, so you get a different point of view on it. The product is good because we know we don't have any other football outlets for these college players that don't make it to the NFL. So most of them are NFL, not maybe NFL players, but they're upper tier players that, deserve another market to play in. And it's good to see the USFL, hopefully with the corporate sponsoring. And I believe the XFL is still in the works because The Rock, he is behind that now. So they're still in the works of that because we really have no semi-pro football leagues anymore.
So when is the FXL plan to have their season?
They're still under works.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. They're still, because they went bankrupt and they're trying to redo everything.
Vince had it.
Yeah, Vince had it. Now The Rock owns it, so they're having to redo everything and get the financing set up, and now have to find
They're
teams.
dealing with some trademark issues too. The new logo that they released.
Oh yeah.
They're actually other companies. There's I think 2 companies that are suing them because they're saying it's too close to theirs. So like that kind of gives you an example of how they're trying to regroup. Mm-hmm. And it's a tough process, and I'm sure that Dwayne Johnson and his ex-wife Danny, I'm sure they have their hands full right now, but it's still in the works. I mean, they're still progressing. It's just not as easy as some people think. So I hope that comes about. I was a season ticket holder for their one inaugural season that we had before the pandemic. So I'm hoping that they'll be back.
You got to have extra football.
But I with CP3, I do like a change of pace. I feel like with the NFL being around so long, people are able to view what they're doing and what they do right, what they do wrong, and kind of make their adjustments. I feel like there's so many people that criticize the NFL, and it's like, okay, well, if you think you can do it better, then do it. I just hope that these other companies do not run into the problems that some organizations have dealt with in the past with the NFL, kind of like bullying.
Well, they kind of partnered up in it together now,
Right.
so it's more of a partnership because it's recognized that it's too many of these players don't have anywhere else to go. You got the CFL, and you got a few semi-pro leagues across the country, but you have no other organized entity for these players that need to, showcase their talents and get paid for the stuff that they can still do. Unfortunately, it's not NFL, but still another league. So it's good to see it. They've been trying to work it out with it's kind of like a semi-pro league because every other sport has a minor league except for football.
Right.
So it's definitely a step in the right direction.
I remember there's a lot of semi-pro leagues in Maryland. Why go to sports? I don't think so.
Are you talking about the for football?
Yeah,
they are. There's a whole big league, one major one for this area, one team that I know a lot of people have family members and friends. We have some mutual friends and old coworkers that were in one particular team that had great success. But there are a lot of leagues that have representation in Maryland, but they're not just in Maryland. Some of them span over like up and down the East Coast, so these teams are able to travel. But yeah, we do have a lot of some.
And it'd be good because those people can graduate. If they can't get to NFL, but at least they get to something like XFL or the UFS.
Because I've seen some really good players in some of those leagues that we're talking about.
And it'd be good because
And
those
I know
people
some people that
can graduate. If they
really
can't
could
get
have
to NFL,
gone
but
to the
at least they get
NFL,
to
but we
something
know the
like
percentage
XFL or
of how many people actually go over. So
it's definitely interesting.
Lady Antoinette, I guess that she won't be here next week.
yeah, I think
We'll tell you Happy Mother's Day early.
thank you. I do have some. When I come back, hopefully I'll have
Lady Antoinette, I guess since you won't
which
be here
dates.
next week, we'll tell you Happy Mother's
I'll
Day
be.
early.
I talked about some of the teams. Some of the games that are coming up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some group stuff. So if you are in the DMV area and you're interested in going to the game, you need to hook up on a discount or some group sales and things like that, hit me up. Hit my Instagram, send me a message, lady.antoinette, ANTOINETTEDNV. That's on IG, so just definitely hit me up.
Are you in a skybox or you?
Really, there are many group tickets. There's a suite level. You can get suites.
Are you in a skybox?
I'm not gonna lie, the suites are not cheap, but you can break it down per ticket, so everyone can chip in. And then all the other seats you can get at a group price. So definitely hit me up. But outside of that, I am going to be traveling, so I leave on I leave on Wednesday. Y'all pray for me. My parents decided they were going to go down too, right? They were like, oh, we're going to do the auto train. For those who don't know what the auto train is, we have one that goes from Lorton, Virginia to Florida, right outside of Orlando. And you can like put your car on the train. You ride in the car in the cabin or whatever, and it goes down. Once you get there, they offload your vehicle. You can drive around like normal. So it's a good way to not put your car on the road like that. However, me and my son decided we're gonna just ride the train down with my parents because that's something we've never done. But we're definitely flying back. I do not have time. It is okay. The drive down there usually takes around 14 hours because it's where my daughter lives. Right, she lives in like the Orlando area, and that can take about 14 hours. The train ride is about 16, but you can get up, you can walk around. Right, you can get up and you can walk around and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Yeah, they got stops to let you off, stretch your legs and everything.
Well, you can stretch your legs while the train is going.
I mean, to get outside to get some fresh air.
Right. And it's like this one is like, of course, overnight. So that's actually good too because we can sleep and all that. And they have sleeper cars. They have all that stuff. So me and my son gonna try it. Once we do it, we're gonna be like, we did it, and now we gonna go right on the plane.
You gonna fly back?
Yeah, I did the Amtrak. It's cool.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's on Amtrak.
Yeah, it was.
I wonder how much it costs to get a car.
Well, so you have your tickets. But you also have the car has a ticket. Now you cannot ride this particular train without a vehicle. You have to be attached to a vehicle. So we would have to kind of be surrounded by my parents in their trip. So when they go down, we're gonna have to, get our tickets with them. So that's what we're doing. But we will fly back.
That'd be interesting. I mean, because it's like going to like Miami or something like that. You can probably just.
Well, no, I don't think it goes that far down. So once you get to, I think it's Sanford, Florida. Once you get there, you would have to drive to wherever. So, and it's not that far from Orlando, so that's pretty good. But
I guess you get the sleeper car when you're going on a long.
Shout out to my man, Flip, the producer. He just he just moved to Atlanta. He actually from here. He makes some dope trap. He
Okay.
used to work with me back in the day.
Shout out to my man Flip the producer. He just
the kid always just grinding.
he moved to Atlanta. He actually was from here. He makes some dope trap.
I
He used to work with me
will
back in the day.
be down there with both of my
old
children
school
for Mother's Day, y'all.
Yeah. He,
And then
and Lady Antoinette,
kid
she's
always
turning like
grinding
35 next month.
in June, I've decided to go ahead and turn 35.
And Lady
I will
Antoinette,
not be
she's
here
turning like 35
my birthday week.
next
I'm just
month.
letting y'all know that now.
Ain't you going to a Aruba or something like
Yes,
that?
I am. I'll be in Aruba, enjoying myself.
You're not taking the blue thing?
But first of all,
Ain't you
who
going
in
to
the
a
world
room or
said I
something
had a
like
boot
that?
thing? Let's get that straight.
I have a sneaky, man.
Even still,
You know you got stalkers.
no, we not. That's why I can't say what part of Aruba I'm gonna be in. I do not. I don't play that. Don't pop up on me. You get your feelings hurt.
That could be love.
You know you got stalkers.
I've had that. Like that's why I don't know if y'all ever really paid attention. When I go somewhere to do something, you do not see it on my social media.
Yes.
If I post it,
That could be
it'll
love.
be
If
after
a
I'm
man
gone.
wants to pop up on you,
Because one time I posted something while I was still there, and as I was walking out, I saw someone comment. It was like, I thought that was you. I was gonna come speak. We not friends like that. Like we social media friends. Don't come. Mm-mm. I do not want somebody to pop up my head. Hey, I saw you was hitting. Who do what? I don't play that. No.
We'll be chill week. On Wednesday, finish watching the Ozark.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk to people.
Well, you know, what's Wednesday? No, Thursday is Cinco de Mayo, and I'm gonna be in Florida, and I did not plan that, y'all.
And probably talk some people.
But you look like that. And then Doctor Strange is coming out.
I'm going to Doctor Strange on Saturday.
My one, you know, don't make it a secret. My nephews are my babies. Okay. So one of my nephews, his wife is actually graduating while we'll be down there. And he just told me yesterday, he was like, Auntie, I'm trying to go with y'all. Yes, I know you are. So we're all gonna go as a family. Yes.
I don't want people to ask me questions, so I'm going to see this.
Oh no, they don't need to. My family doesn't need to ask me questions. We all know the same information. And we do not play those games. We're serious, okay?
I don't
So yeah, we're gonna go as a family.
I'm probably going to get my tickets this weekend. I'll probably be on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be fun. I'm happy. That's a.
I think I want to be
I'm probably gonna get my tickets this week.
I gotta research what's in the area.
I used to love the IMAX.
Yeah. Well, they don't have it in IMAX today. This is one of those movies you probably should do 3D. I like certain movies, the action movies, especially something like Doctor Strange. Like he's gonna be throwing stuff and it's gonna come at you.
The only thing that makes me sad about these movies is the person who used to go to the movies anyway to see these things is Gio.
Oh yeah.
You know, we always pick on Marvel movies and all.
But you gotta carry on the tradition.
The only thing that makes me sad about these movies is the
And me and
person who used to
my
go
kids,
to
we
movies like
tend
see these
not
things
to miss
was GOP.
Marvel stuff together.
We were always big on
So
Marvel
with my daughter being in,
Nobody do my brother could go. Even Renegade would go because he understands some shit.
right.
So he was raised his uncle, you know, read comics.
That's how I feel about my nephew. He knows. Like we're not playing.
I could probably get my brother. My brother could go.
That should be fun.
Even Renegade will go because he understands most of the shit.
What you doing Cinco de Mayo, CP3?
You know.
What's that? It's Thursday.
Finding potential baby mama.
Possibly. Thursday I'll be watching the playoff game, the Capitals. And
Are you gonna be watching that at home?
Depends on if I get my commission check. When I get my check, yeah, I might go out and venture out to a bar.
Yeah, because that's Cinco de Mayo and playoff game. Come on now, that's a lovely, energetic vibe.
It depends on if my check hit. So all that matters. If not, I'll be at home sipping on a cold Buddy White, watching the.
I think you should drink some tequila.
I need some female companionship for that. I ain't trying to be sitting in a house with a bottle of tequila by myself. That's not a good look.
You don't have to drink the whole bottle, you know.
That's the way it starts out, man. I know that when I start.
Oh my goodness.
Then after it's over, then I'm like, damn, why'd I drink that whole bottle?
That's a problem. You know that, right?
Hey man, so happen when you by yourself, man. Me and my dog just be chilling. He don't drink, so somebody gotta drink the
He don't
motherfucker.
drink. I'm glad. I'm glad Taylor doesn't drink.
Alright, well,
Go ahead, Peter on that.
Hey man,
wow.
first dog that don't smoke or drink.
Wait,
Man.
hey.
You know what? I'm muting the mics. I'm playing the video.
Life is hard.
That life was hard.
Wow.
You gonna have the people at you.
Hey. I'm muting the mics. I'm playing the video. We're done.
It's your girl, ain't it? This is the song he was doing that before.
Young turn bitch, all I do is get money. Hoes in they feelings cause I ran up 100, eat it greedy. I'ma chase it back till I'm rich. If he ain't spinning cheese, then he ain't getting shit. Hoes be so pressed, but they used to be fans. This real ass bitch throwing shade to my mans. Hoes in your face the whole time, they be slimy. Screaming that they real, but they steady moving grind. Fuck the sweet talk, man, I'm done being nice. I cut the nigga off, I ain't saying shit twice. Left the pussy nigga Nas ass wanna fight. Nigga think he hard, what your name is? I be busting down pros, about to catch the next flight. Your bitch in my wood, I was choking all night. Finna pull me up the eighth, I gotta grab me a Sprite. Cup real muddy, put the walk on ice. My palms stay itching like a head full of light. I keep the strap on me like a ran through dike. I ain't never been a bitch and I ain't never gonna hold your baby daddy on my dick cause my knot won't fold. Don't even let him touch your pussy cause I heard he told. Back and forth to the H, ho, I stay on the road. Scoring zips to the top, but I'm dropping a bow. Jugging and finessing, trying to get shit sold.
Boss ass bitch, all I do is talk business. Seen a lot of shit, but I ain't never been a witness. Nigga wanna hit the road for some trolls, now they splitting. Chasing out the bag and run up digits, no fitness. Wanna touch 100, bitch, you gotta have some hustle. Don't get mad when I say this, know you hoes like a tussle. That nigga that you fucking ain't getting no cheese. Got the plug on the watch and still sipping green. What that mean? I don't know, you tell me. Spend 1,000 on his shoes, he ain't got it in his jeans. Out of pocket, identity just like his wallet. That nigga
But
let you sit
yeah,
on
you
there,
talking about her face look real
Say
familiar.
I'm making fun of that, see me in a while. Try to call me fake, I'ma crack a smile. I'm the realest bitch around, trying to make $1 million pop. Keep a roll on me, I never stop flexing. On your best day, bitch, I still get more attention. Niggas on my hip, not responding to their message. I'm driving through the mountains,
she wasn't that light.
got reception.
Young turn bitch, all I do is get money. Hoes in they feelings cause I ran up 100, eating greedy. I'ma chase it back till I'm rich. If he ain't spinning cheese, then he ain't getting shit.
This is the first time in a long time I ain't finished, before the show.